Hello, little chatfish, and welcome to today's Bunchcast. Today we'll be talking about a bunch of things, but the first and biggest bit of news we're going to talk about right off the bat, and we'll touch base on it at the end of the stream as well, is the Command and Conquer news from EA. Now, I know many of you are frowning right now. You're like, EA, Kib? Is it another fucking mobile game? No, it actually isn't. Um, for a change, it's actually good news. It's for the PC versions on Steam. They are not only giving workshop support to 4 of the Command & Conquer games, I believe, but they're also giving the source code for those games away to the modding community, and basically celebrating the modding community by getting them new modding tools, even going as far as updating the map editing tools so that they actually have new features to make missions and do things on. So EA is doing extensive work on the community, and this is by specifically the team that has sort of disappeared from the CnC remaster team. So let's read a little bit about their actual little post here. So we'll start. I'm eager to invite, let's see, hello CnC community, because this is from, I think, Luke, if I'm right. For those of you awesome CnC fans who I have not crossed paths with before, my name is Luke Freenan, aka CC Hyper. I'm a 20-plus year veteran of the CnC community and a long-time modder and an admin of CnC Net. I was also very fortunate to have been involved in the development of the CnC Remaster Collection under the mentorship of Jim Vasella. Over the past year, I have been working alongside the amazing CnC stakeholders here at EA to restore the Perforce source code archives for the CnC games back to buildable states, which now provides us with the ability to patch these classic games in a deeper way going forward. As a longtime modder, it was amazing to finally get a chance to deep dive into the source code for these games and see how they work. Today, I have been given the pleasure to share 2 major announcements for the CnC franchise with you all. Number 1, empowering the future of the community. For those of you in the community who know me, you will be familiar with my strong advocacy for video game preservation and my support for the video game open source community. It's almost 5 years ago now that EA released the source code for the CnC Remastered Collection, DLL files. This release received praise across the video game industry and has enabled the community to create amazing content for the remastered collection in reaction to the restoration process of the CnC archives. I wanted to take this one step further. So I'm proud to announce that we are releasing the fully recovered source code for Command & Conquer, also known as Tiberian Dawn, and CnC Red Alert, under the GPL license. I know this will empower those in the community to continue to create content for these classic entries in the franchise, and I hope it will aid communities like CnC Net to continue to support these games and keep them playable for future generations to come. But let's not stop there. The community over at W3D Hub have been doing amazing things with the CnC Renegade engine for almost 20 years now, and their projects have been pushing the absolute limits of the game. This is true, by the way, because if anyone's seen the Renegade mods that turn into Red Alert, the game allows you to turn into a dog. like, like
All right.
out of the RTS mode thing. So it's kind of interesting. To support them in taking the game and their awesome projects to the next level, we're also releasing the complete source code for CnC Renegade under the GPL license. All of us here are all really excited to see what's next in store for the community over at W3D Hub, and what they will be able to do with this release. And finally, an appreciation for CnC General's community, who have been kept the game alive with their consistent energy and passion, hosting multiplayer tournaments and producing amazing content. I'm extremely happy to share that we are releasing the full source code under the GPL for CnC Generals and its expansion, 0 Hour. I know the General 0 Hour community is going to do amazing things with this source code release, and I'm excited to see what the team over at CnC Online does next with the multiplayer experiences for these games. So yeah, that's really interesting, Chatfish, for a number of things. Number 1, if you want in your modder, by the way, the source codes are right here on the website. They just have the GitHub, so you can go and start tampering with them right now. Harlot already is asking an excellent question, but what does EA want? We'll get to that in just a second. You're clever. They do want something. They do want. Next up, Steam Workshop support for Steam. So CnC Renegade, General Zero Hour, Tiberium Wars, Kane and Kane's Wrath, both of those, Red Alert 3 and Uprising, and Tiberium Twilight. Ugh, they even gave that thing workshop. Those all have workshop support. Red Alert 2 and Tiberian Sun do not have workshop support. You'll need to mod them still the old conventional way, the older games, anything pre-Sage Engine. But it's interesting that everything post-Sage post-Sage Engine, as in they're made in the Sage Engine, all have workshop support. So it seems like they've really done a number of work on the Sage Engine as a whole. But yeah, so if you want, go ahead.
How old is this engine?
The Sage Engine came out for Emperor Battle for Dune, so 2001, 2002, and technically it was worked on before, so it's like a couple decades old, I think. Or 2000s or something like that ballpark.
So it's safe to assume that, like, if the people were doing mods that were that good, like, according to you, before, they should be way better now, from now on, because they have the source code, and they probably already know the ins and outs of the engine better than the developers by this point.
To a degree, but they actually have the source code in their studio because EA's archives actually have all this stuff. We learned a lot about CnC when they did the CnC remaster because I don't know if it's Luke or this is the same guy I'm thinking of, but he basically went into the CnC archive and was like, yeah, we've got all the original footage. We've got the original footage, cutscenes, audio files, and we have all of it. There was some things they didn't have, but in the actual EA archive for Command and Conquer, they've actually apparently archived a lot of the material. So not, which is good, which means that unlike a lot of games or some games where they're like, oh, the source code's lost to time, right? Like with the Homeworld Emergence / Cataclysm, they lost the source code. In EA's case, EA actually did a pretty good job of archiving this data and information very well and successfully, so much so that they're actually able to work with it today because they're going into the archive, grabbing these things, and resuming work and development on these things. They're working on the Sage Engine in the way that basically makes it more usable and allowing people to actually touch it now so it can actually be edited and built on top of. So it's going to be very, 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 very interesting to see what mods happen, especially for the games that just got that. Tiberium Dawn, which is the first two Command & Conquers, Red Alert 1 and Tiberium Dawn. Renegade, which is the first-person shooter. And General Zero Hour, which is one of the fan favorites of the franchise. That's going to make modding quite insane. It's also going to excite modding back into the community and probably get a lot of old modders to return as well because they're going to be excited. Source code for Red Alert 2 and Tibsun when? You raise an excellent question, Connor Gainey. Isn't that interesting? They released the source code for all the Command & Conquers except for Tiberium Sun and Red Alert 2. Now, Chatfish, why would they not want to release the source code for that? What kind of deductive reasoning could we use, Chatfish, that might help explain why they don't want to do it? Because there's a lot of reasons why they might not want to do that. And my particular theory connects to this right here. So there's a Command & Conquer massive franchise sale going on right now. If you want all the Command & Conquers, you can buy them for $6. And if you want to buy the Command & Conquer Remaster for 1 and Red Alert 1 as well, that's also $6. You can buy them right now. For $12 in total, you can have the entire CnC collection as a whole. I theorize that the reason why is multifaceted. Bucky also has an interesting perspective on that too. But one of the reasons why extenuates to the fact that the CnC remaster was for Red Alert 1 and Tiberium Sun. The next games that would be logical to remaster after this would be Tiberium Sun, which is the second Tiberium game, and Red Alert 2, which is the second Red Alert game. So it would make sense that they wouldn't want to release the source code for that yet, because they released the source code for the remastered collection when it came out, right? They want to wait so that they can get you to buy the next remaster to help revitalize the franchise, and then give you the source codes as well. Just like they did with this one. So I think that it's very likely that Red Alert 2 and Tiberium Sun are currently either in the process or there's a huge motion internally to get these games remastered. And we know for a fact, because of Luke and various people inside EA, that there are a lot of very passionate people from Westwood or not Westwood, sorry, from the CnC modding community that have actually worked their way into getting into EA and have done this in the same way that, some people get into companies to subvert them, but have done this to actually get their hands on the franchise so that they can do something with it. And that's why we're seeing the remaster. That's why we're seeing a lot of this code and stuff like that returning. And that's why we're seeing a revitalization of CnC. The thing is, we got to remember with EA or Sega or whatever mega corporation, is that these corporations are just entities and they own things. And that's about it. The people in charge of them usually want profits, right? But if you get somebody that's passionate about a franchise and you get them in there and they get favors, they get in position, they can start making motions and movements internally to do something with that franchise. So EA, in essence, could be the framework with which to make great things again. So it's entirely possible, Chatfish. It's also, Bucky, you want to say what you also think why they did this?
Yeah, EA is desperate for a win.
That's true. I need to pull
It
it up.
is taking multiple L's over and over the past year, and they need some type of revival and goodwill from the community in order for somebody to be willing to pay for a game that has been plagued with the shadow of these multiple DEI failures that EA has put out.
Yep, the most recent one was Veilguard. It's such a colossal failure that they're bundling it with things to
They
get
killed the
people
Dragon
to
Age.
get in.
Like,
Dragon Age was dead
uh,
ages ago. Let's not kid ourselves.
no, no. But
But
that's the thing. Like they killed it. Like
yes,
in such a way. Sorry.
no, go ahead.
They killed it in such a way that I went to play Dragon Age Origins, right? After I saw you play Veilguard. And whenever anything was mentioned that was in the Dragon Age Origin that reminded me of Veilguard, like when I found a few books about the gods, right? I just started cringing, even though in game it was cool. Like it got tainted. You get what I mean? It's
It
like I think I'll
tainted
never
it
be able
in
to
that
decouple it.
because the big thing is your first experience with Veilguard before experiencing Origins. So it tainted your initial experience because it painted a bad picture of what was to come. It's hard to look forward to the future when you know the future is dark and bleak,
It's hard. It's hard to look forward to Halo 3 when you played Halo 5.
So this also coincides with them releasing Tiberium Alliances. Now, you're going to notice that this game is at mostly negative. I'm going to talk about this game very briefly. It's a free-to-play game. It's not a game I would recommend. It's a game I don't want to play. I played it once because I played every CnC game ever made. But it's basically, I can summarize it as it's a web browser game. However, to EA and Envision Entertainment's credit, they took a browser game and they simply ported it to Steam. That's it. You don't need an online connection to play it. It's not a game that is a game, in my opinion. It was made as a browser game, and I just don't have anything nice to say about this thing. I don't really care about it. It's kind of gross. But
It's free.
it's free. They ported it. And honestly, when it comes to video game preservation, that's actually more important to me. The fact that they were willing to port even the ugly Command and Conquer with this, the one that nobody wanted to talk about, they ported it, means that it's archived, it's saved, and legacy is preserved, regardless of how good or bad a game is. So when Luke says he's all for video game preservation, his actions also show that, both with the fact that they released the source code for the collection when it came out, and the fact that they released source code for all the other games, as well as even updating the editing tools so that people can make better missions and stuff like that in it. So that shows to me that this guy is passionate, and EA is looking for a win, and so they're looking to people who are passionate inside of them and giving them power to do things as an experiment. How well you respond to this experiment is going to dictate what EA will do, right? So if you like this, if you appreciate this, you should consider, not have to, but you should consider picking up the Command & Conquer collection. It's $6 to buy them all. It's $6 to buy the entire collection, and it's only $6 for the remastered collection, which is a pretty good deal. And that comes with all its expansions and the console exclusive missions as well. So that's a lot of content. Yes, they're older RTSs, but again, if you want to put your money where your mouth is and actually show support for when things go well and you like something, the EA team that's been working on the CnC stuff has been doing a good job. And if EA sees positive feedback, we know that they respond well to positive feedback. Dead Space 2 exists purely because of vocality. Dead Space 2 would not have existed if it wasn't for the community. After Dead Space 1's release, they had no intention of making a second one that much because they thought it was a commercial failure. They only made a second Dead Space because because the critics were positive, because the community was so positive, they were like, holy shit. All right, we'll do it again. And that's because it's surefire going to be a success. Now, it was a commercial failure again for them because they had outlandish expectations, but let's be realistic, EA. Dead Space 2 is a commercial success. Don't fucking call it a commercial failure, you fucking mongos. You're in the positive, you're in the green. Don't even.
But if I don't make all the money,
Yes, they
it's not,
wanted
it's a
they
thing.
wanted a blockbuster title, but yes. Do you think EA has seen what is happening with Ubisoft and decided to try and change? Possibly. It's not impossible. Other corporations do look at each other, sometimes eyeing each other's properties. EA might be eyeing up Ubisoft's properties. They might try to jump on it if Ubisoft sinks under. That's what usually happens, by the way, when this stuff happens, is if any big company goes down, like when THQ did, everybody, Sega jumped all over THQ's dead body. Sega tore up a bunch of titles for themselves. 2K grabbed several titles, I think, for themselves as well. A bunch of people jumped on it because as soon as one publisher goes under, every publisher surrounded, and any publisher that can, will try to pick up whatever titles they can. Hell, even some AA publishers managed to get some of the licenses for some of the THQ games and actually managed to do stuff with them. So yeah, anytime a publisher goes down, you bet your ass these guys are looking at it because these are all potential commercial products they could have that have established audiences. It's far easier to grab one of those and make something like that. It'd be easier for EA to pick up, I don't know, Splinter Cell or End War or something, or Ghost Recon, and be like, all right, it has an established audience. Let's just buy those licenses, and then we'll make a game. And because it already has an established audience, we're guaranteedly going to get an X amount of sales because people are interested in it.
There's the positive benefit also of like, since the IP that was doing bad is changing hands, even though the new people that are getting, they might not be good devs anyway, right? But like, it would have that effect of like, well, new people got it, so there might be a possibility. So I will check it out. So even the fans that are not that interested anymore, they might still want to look into it, where they wouldn't be that interested if it hadn't changed hands. If it makes any sense for you.
Mm-hmm. No, it does. Also, if you want to get the bundle, by the way, all you do is click on any CnC title, and there'll be a little button. Where is it? Right here. You click on bundle info, and then you can just buy all of them. And this is what the bundle comes with, and I think it's only $6, I think. Or it's like dirt cheap. But it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 17 products. Like several games with all their expansions. Like it's a shit ton of content. The amount of if you've never played the CnC before and you like RTSs or you're interested in trying an RTS, this is one of the mother of all like RTS franchises. The best one to start for if you're new to RTSs and you're in the modern generation would be either Generals or Tiberium Wars, and then you can go back to these ones and play them once you're a bit more familiarized. Just a little tip there for new people. But yeah, it's a solid franchise. One of the best RTS franchises because of its cutscenes, its story, and their fucking campy as hell, goddamn FMV videos that they play. They're amazing. A CnC4X game? I'd buy it, but yeah. I wonder what EA will use instead of radio towers. I don't want to think about that.
Why can't they use radio towers?
But yeah, the CnC collection is super cheap. And not only is the collection super cheap, but also the if you buy the collection, or no, sorry, the bundle, the collection is not included in the bundle. It's separately, but it's only $6, and it's also pretty good. Basically has all the stuff in there too. For the OG games, by the way. But yeah, no, it's solid. It's solid. I honestly think that this is a good move by EA. Yes, they're doing it for a reason, Connor. I think Connor was the one that asked that. Absolutely. Without a doubt. EA never does nothing for nothing, right? Like there's a motive behind this, but the motive is they're testing the water with other IPs. Dragon Age has failed. Dragon Age is now under the sea and is sunken. They're going to try with Mass Effect over there, but they're testing new avenues, right? They did a Dead Space remake, and then look at how well that turned out. That turned out surprisingly good, right? They remastered the first Command & Conquer, so that turned out pretty good. EA has the capability to do great work. It's entirely up to us to be very, vocal with what we want to see. And there's a good chance we might be able to get that.
But kids,
Is there a const? Sorry.
What
happens if they do this? It works well, and then EA goes, "Oh shit, we can make more Command and Conquer games."
They might. That might
then
be
what
good or
happens?
bad.
Yeah.
It really depends on the games in question. If they put this Luke guy in charge, this Luke guy sound and everything I've heard of him. If he's the same community manager I'm thinking of, the guy that runs CNCnet.org. CNCnet.org, by the way, is literally a website you can go to. You type in CNCnet.org. That website literally has fixes for any of the Command & Conquers. Any of them. And also will actually plug them into a network that you can actually go and play in tournaments and multiplayer games that are still hosted to this day. Because the CnC community is actually alive and well. And they also have connected CNCnet.org's multiplayer services and framework with mods for Twisted Insurrection, for Mental Omega, and various other mods that are pretty popular in this fucking thing that are basically their own goddamn games. They have their own full-blown stories and cinematics and cuts, or not cinematics, but like missions and stories. But most of them are text. I don't want to go like hammy with the FMVs, although I would appreciate it. It'd be amazing. But yeah. But yeah, the big thing is EA is doing it for a reason, and they might revitalize the CnC franchise. I mean, I will tell you this: Command & Conquer is actually alive as a franchise technically right now. There's a mobile game right now on the market that is actually keeping the franchise alive. Love it or hate it, love it or hate it. And because that mobile game is alive, this franchise is technically operating in the positive, unlike Dragon Age, which means that maybe EA will want to exploit this franchise that's alive, and hopefully they will, and exploit it in such a way that means making new games for this market. Because, let's be honest, chat, there's a market here for it. Hell, I just saw Former Ghost just bought this just now. So, yeah. Versailles says £5, I assume because you're British, but £5 and 31 pound cents, or whatever that is, for all those games, some of which were my childhood. But yeah, a bargain. The entire Command & Conquer collection, including the remaster, if you buy all that, is $6 or $12. Sorry, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculously good.
I will be the contrarian in the room for a minute.
When games are charging $70, Bino, for a AAA game that barely works.
No, it's not about that. It's not about that.
I'm gonna be fucking very positive here.
But the only thing I not say to not be positive. The only thing it kind of grinds my gears is how like we keep having to rebuy and go back to old stuff. I kind of like I want them to stop going like, oh, old stuff here. Like no, okay. When are you going to make new stuff good again? That's just
I just
kind of like.
So A, they can't. B, they haven't. The last Command & Conquer they made, I'll show you. The last Command & Conquer EA made, and then stopped. And this is entirely on EA's head, by the way. It's this one. It's number 4.
Twilight.
And it's not very well.
The best one.
It's not very well.
He goes home.
E.T. phone home. But not only does he go home, right? And that's the conclusion of the story. But this one was never meant. The developers, when they made this, EA Los Angeles, what they were making was a game that was specifically for Korea, Japan, and China. This game was not supposed to be tied into the main line. EA at this time in 2010 / 2008 and 9, when they were thinking about this game, by the way, because it was in development for that long, was basically like, well, what? That's not going to make as many sales as we'd like it to. What if it also has a campaign? Like, okay, we can throw in a campaign. What if it's also the sequel to the mainline series? And I remember, like, I just imagine the reaction would just be like this, like, deadpan stare, like, what? This is a spin-off. This is supposed to be a MOBA spin-off of the franchise. There's nothing wrong with a spin-off to a franchise. However, there is something deeply, deeply wrong when it's the main sequel to a series and it has very little connection or tether to that main sequel, or to the mainline story, or even gameplay legacy. Because this game isn't actually a terrible game if you were to pretend that you didn't know anything about this game, right? Pretend that when you close your eyes, this game has no connection to anything, right? It's not a Command & Conquer game. It's just like, okay, it's like a weird MOBA RTS. It's kind of cute, but it's not my cup of tea. But now it's Command & Conquer 4, all right? That changes everything. It's not just a quirky little MOBA strategy game thing. It's the game that killed all games. The game that killed all games. Oh my god, because it's got polish, it's got a lot of effort and money put into it and flair, and it's not a bad game per se. It's just it's a horrendous Command & Conquer game.
Never heard of it.
It's not even Command & Conquer. Like that, how do I put that? Like, it's Command & Conquer paint, but like the paint is thin, and it's definitely meant for like Eastern audiences because it's super cartoonish. Like,
Frank Skelliger has been a member for 24 months. Past kids looks at future kids and sees him shilling for EA and wonders if he walked in the Twilight Zone.
what?
Into the Twilight Zone.
This is not. I've not changed a day. Whether
They're
that's
not shilling for EA.
no, I've not changed my perspective in a day. I'm not shilling for EA. What I'm shilling for is good people inside EA that have the potential for greatness.
So Kibbs, who just put down the mouse and keyboard after playing Tiberium Twilight, looks at future Kibbs, who's now a VTuber, and goes, "What the fuck?"
What the? Oh yeah, no. That the reaction would be, "What has happened? Why? What are cat ears?" And that's also before I even knew what anime was or even liked anime, by the way. So I'd be like,
Yeah.
I would be.
Am I gay?
The difference.
Am I gay in the future?
Weird. Because I had a girlfriend at the time, but yeah.
Yeah, well, obviously, it didn't work out.
Oh my god. I don't want to think about
No wonder
that.
I don't have any. No wonder I have no interest in her. No.
Oh no. That's a different one. That's a different one. They are members. If they're members of EA, they're really good people. No, Chatfish. Okay, come on. Listen, I need to explain this one more time to you. This guy is the guy here. I'll cover my screen.
Outside EA.
Yeah, he came from outside EA. His origins are from the modding community, right? You need to look at individuals. He runs this website, cncnet.org. He came from here, right? This fucking website is a fan-based website that has been keeping Command & Conquer alive pretty much since 2009. It hosts mods, and look at how well, it's very well made, by the way. God, it's a cute website, isn't it? Like, these are just mods that they host for the game. Oh, wow. There's some new stuff here. Okay, that's cool. I haven't been here in a while. Also, it looks much fancier. Jesus Christ. But yeah, you can go here and you can download like patches for all these games. These are mods. Yes, this is mod. Yeah, these are the regular games. So if you want to play the old games, you go here and this is how you play them online. These people have basically kept the community alive. Do not mistake these people as like soulless corporate like executive people that have no connection, or middle management people. These are the kinds of people that you should be rooting for, chat.
My dude, just think about it like this. These are not the same people that wanted to make a crypto game in EA. They are the people that are coming to try to fix EA. God bless them.
I have to specify.
Donates 50 North Koreans. How bad would it be if past you found out about your knee-high socks skirt? By the way, so sad CnC stopped at 3 and no games came out after it. There was CnC 4.
Yeah, don't pretend, Terratine. We can't pretend. If we ignore history will repeat itself. Never forgive, never forget. Thank you for the donation. Very generous. But yes. Yeah, no. So this website is literally still on. Like they run the CnC net, which allows you to play games together. Like we could actually play this, and we actually have used this to have several community events in our past. You can use this to actually play these games. So, yeah, no. Like, do not mistake the fact that the people that work here are terrible people or like they're the same people. People change over time. And not only people, not sorry, people don't change. Not in this case. People like that aren't the same people that give us the CnC remaster. The people who gave us the Dead Space remaster, you need to look at the individuals. You need to stop seeing the corporation and you need to start seeing people when you look at them. Because
Yeah, you need to stop seeing the investors as bad people.
oh, the investors are bad. And there's somebody watching this screaming right now. Listen, if you're an investor in a games company and you so happen to invest like, a 0.00 percentage, right? That doesn't mean you're a bad person. It just means you're investing in something you care about and you want to, get, money stuff. But at the same time, we're not talking about you when we're talking about investors. We're talking about people who actually have power. Like, they have 25 fucking percent of a company or some
No,
shit.
okay.
Some
The
shit.
the thing is, that's still all the devs' fault and the company people fault. Is not the investor's fault. Okay, because if I come to you and I be like, I will give you one
Okay, so
Brazilian dollar.
Bino, I can tell you that it is their fault because those high percentage owners, investors, don't really care about the games.
They
They
sit on a board of investors that make decisions for the company.
Yes, and they
Yeah, but like,
specifically no, and I know this because I don't have direct experience with it myself, but my uncle
I
did.
do.
And okay, I was gonna say, because I have a lot of stories about how this works in the industry from my uncle, and I wish I could talk to him and have him here, because it would be a fucking eye opener for you. You'd be surprised. They control everything. They can even push out people who originally created the company to begin with.
Correct. I have a board of investors in my company that I work for, and they make decisions.
Yes,
They can remove the CEO.
they,
So when you're talking about them not having, they're not the problem. They are definitely the problem. They make decisions. They
yep.
override everybody. Even if good people came in and started trying to make changes, the board of investors can go, no.
No,
no, yeah,
we
I
don't
know,
want it
but
to go
that's
in this
what
way.
you.
That's why,
Yeah, but that.
yes, but Bino, that's the entire point. The board of investors has the ultimate end all say. They can take anyone on the team and shoot them out. Like the art director, no, let's not get that art director. Let's get Jim instead. And the game designer, I don't like him. Let's get somebody who has experience making, mobile games. They
Mhm. Yeah, but
literally have that.
that's why you
Diablo
shouldn't.
Immortal.
That's why you shouldn't open your company public if you now,
Remember,
especially
there's
nowadays.
there's different reasons to do certain things. Now, I agree. I have no intention to make Battle Damage Studios ever publicly traded because that's what happens, right?
Don't worry, I will.
You, but so the big problem is when that happens, you get a lot more resources to do things, right? And this has helped many companies expand and make some of the best games we ever got was because of certain things that happened, right? So let me great example using Command and Conquer. Command and Conquer, as a franchise, was not doing very well during Tiberian Sun's development. Tiberian Sun was incredibly ambitious, but Westwood had clearly bitten off more than they could chew. They needed help in order to survive. That help came from EA. And EA basically had them wrap that game up, produce it, get it out because they were getting stumped on it too long, and then quickly had them produce Red Alert 2. Red Alert 2 is arguably one of the best. It's like one of the best. It's like on everyone's top like threes or top fives RTS games. It is that good. And it's entirely thanks to the fact that EA swooped in and saved Westwood. It's entirely to the fact that the money from EA really helped this game massively. Its cast of actors and overall like cutscenes and just everything is just incredibly good. Not just including the Frank Klepacki's music and the artists and the sprite workers and the game designers and the writers. Like it's a good game. It's a fantastic game. But it really came to its own because Tiberian Sun kind of suffered. And that sucks because Tiberian Sun is also a legendary game as well. I mean, just look at how many people played this old game. This is an old fucking game that re-released on Steam like 2 years ago, and it has 7,289 reviews. That is insane. That means like that's just how many people wrote a review about that game, right? Doesn't include everyone. Like when it has 1,000, like that, like look at that, just comparatively. Like if I hover my mouse over, like what this one might have the most. Oh my god! I think it almost eclipses. It almost eclipses one of the most modern ones. Jesus fuck. Red Alert 3 is still at the top. Okay. But yeah, so it almost eclipses that, right? That is insane. Oh yeah, there's no background music. Good note. Chatfish. I should have that default on. Chatfish, help me. But yeah, so just by comparison, like that is massive in terms of what that means, right? Because that means that's how big of an impact that game had. Chatfish, I know many of you who have played CnC. If you played Red Alert 2, one of your top RTSs of your list is probably Red Alert 2. It just probably is.
I like Command and Conquer 4.
I know why you like it, but you like it for the wrong reasons. You don't like the game. You like what it causes, what it does psychologically. What it does You should be made to play it and see how you feel.
Well, kids, there's an easy way you can make me play it.
Play chess.
Yeah, you got to beat me in chess.
You're gonna like
You specifically.
they're gonna specifically do something, and you probably have like some advanced play that you probably researched.
If you beat him in chess, you should. If like a
It's
big.
entirely possible, dude. Like I'm super rusty.
No, yes, but what you should do is have him do the next coins, because the next one.
If he
He's
was fighting
supposed to be
younger
like that.
Kib, if he was fighting younger Kib in chess, he would lose. Flat out.
Okay, so if he was fighting younger kid before like the
Back in
Burger
my
King
tourneys
film
days.
is, yeah, or the Burger King films killed brain cells.
I know he's just gonna do en passant. Like he just looked up how to do that, and he's just gonna do that. He should get my.
I don't need to look it up, Gibbs. I can just beat you.
No.
Have you guys ever seen that meme of like, yes, I play chess against people, and then I go and put another window open with the computer playing chess with me, at master or whatever, and then I do their moves in the computer against the computer and copy the computer moves against them. It's like,
I think I said it on loop. Oh, good job, Chatfish. Chatfish
I
reminding me.
thought you were going to put
Now,
Fuck the bar.
back to the stream. So, yeah, when it comes to CnC Remaster stuff, or my speculation from this news is that they're going to do something with the franchise. I think that we're going to see an announcement, maybe this year, maybe next year, who knows, of Tiberian Sun and Red Alert 2 both receiving respective remasters.
I can see Red Alert 2 getting it.
Red Alert 2 definitely will. I imagine they would bundle them because they're connected to the same engine, though.
I think that they would put more resources into the second game than they would the first.
It did sell. Like, Red Alert 2 is like one of the crown jewels of the franchise. It's one that everyone has fond memories of. Not just because Red Alert 2, but then it had its expansion, Yuri's Revenge, literally blew it out of the water.
Yeah.
Not just because it had, the Twin Towers on fire in the background before 9/11 happened and got delayed because they had to reprint boxes without it. Fun bit of trivia.
So, chat, what I want is that they bring back all the actors that are still alive today, and in the remastered version, just have them doing everything exactly the same, except they're just really old.
Like Tanya's trying to be sexy, but she's a grandma
Yeah.
now. She's like, that would be kind of like charming if they did that, actually.
Would it?
Yeah.
Are you into Jamil?
No, the thing is, like, you don't understand the campiness of these cutscenes. It was more of an
Yes.
experience of, like, these characters were having fun on set, and you could tell. You could tell that Yuri was enjoying being Yuri, that Romanov, the premier of Russia, was hamming it up, that Dugan, the president of the United States, was just overly fucking American. It had such an atmosphere. That was the third game, but yes, even in the third game, they did that pretty well. Like, I'm not a big fan of George Takei, but George Takei really hammed it up really good in that. He did a great job, acting-wise. Separate the art from the artist. And fucking goddamn Tim Curry. Tim Curry blew Red Alert 3 out of the water. His performance made the Soviet campaign just stellar. And anytime you fight the Soviets and you fight Tim Curry, it's just amazing. He did an excellent job. Chatfish are just sitting there like, yeah. the premiere was just trying to go to the only place free from capitalism. See, I'm sad because the previous premiere that plays for the Soviet Union is actually an incredibly good actor too. Fucking A, let's go get it. Oh my god, Chatfish, you need to see this, okay?
It's good that we have today like one guy that has that's a fan of the franchise. I don't know about Artemis then, and then like that's me that like I don't really care about it. I have no.
Here,
no
I'll play.
emotions about
This
it.
is an example of like the cutscenes. This is from Red Alert 2, which is considered one of the crown jewels, and this is like the opening intro.
Mr. President, it's General Carville at the Pentagon on line 5.
This is Dugan.
Mr. President, I'm afraid we have a heck of a situation down here.
How bad could it be, Ben?
According to NORAD, we've got Soviet aircraft coming at us from all directions and ground troops pushing up through Mexico. I don't know how they snuck in on us.
You better double check this with NORAD. This doesn't make any sense. I'll call the Kremlin.
Will do.
Da, Premier Romanov here.
What's going on over there, Alex?
Why, Mr. President, whatever do you mean?
Alex, I have, you're throwing everything you've got at us, Alex. We're supposed to be allies, you maniac. I'm the one that put you into office.
Listen very carefully. I am not your pet, Mr. President. We Romanovs have our legacy to consider.
I don't give a wooden nickel about your legacy. You call them off. Alex, you call them off. You know, we'll retaliate.
Oh, don't be so sure, Mr. President.
Sir,
Verification?
you betcha.
Sweet mother. It's time to hit back. Make it happen.
Yes, sir. This is General Carville. Soviet invasion confirmed. Execute launch order 010 Adam Delta Charlie.
Have confirmation. Missiles prime.
Armed.
Missile command. 10 seconds to launch. Open the missile silos. Jerry, what? We have to open the silos or they'll explode under... The silo doors are closed. This is suicide.
Is it done, Yuri?
No, Comrade Premier. It has only begun.
The good old Hell March.
But yeah, nothing quite compares to that. That's like peak shit right there. That gives me goosebumps just looking at it every goddamn time. It's like, that's just cool. I've not seen a game do this since these games.
So, chat, what I like about this, like these type of games, is the like what was it, Homefront, and like all the ones where you have the United States getting fucking pushed, like to the brink and then having it retaliate. Those are the type of games I like. Is because it's the inevitable response that I look forward to.
Yes, because in the story for Red Alert 2, America gets invaded, right? And it's pretty bad in the initial stages. It's so bad that we have to send our special forces over to help Europe while we're being invaded, in order to get Europe to help us, because Europe won't join the war until we go help them first with our special agent. And not only is it bad for us, but while you're doing that, America's pushed back to like the Midwest and the North, to the point where the president and the command staff have been relocated to Canada. There's a cutscene where they're moving a Canadian flag aside, putting an American flag there because they've taken up positions in Canada, because we got pushed back all the way north. And then you not only push them back and take back everything, but you go all the way. We do a deep strike using a chronosphere technology into literally Moscow and capture the premier and force them to surrender. It's like a fucking big fuck you, and it's a really cool campaign. Then the sequel, Yuri's Revenge, is Yuri, his psychic like soldier dude that's basically with him that mind controlled people, basically going on a rampage, doing his own thing. And then America time travels back, kills dinosaurs. I know this is fucking crazy, it's like crack, but time travels back to the beginning of the Soviet invasion to stop Yuri from activating his psychic dominators from taking over the planet. This story is fucking weird, okay? But yeah, because apparently Yuri was always intending to betray the Premier Romanov and basically take over the world as a mastermind, and then you have to chase him to the moon and kill him on the moon. That's the one thing Red Alert 3 was missing. It didn't have a fucking lunar mission. That would have been amazing. But yeah, the story for these games are fucking nuts. Like, Tiberian Sun is dark, bleak, and it's like the world's being terraformed. Red Alert is like fucking on cocaine, and is like, yeah, so like America is living in an alternate universe where Einstein traveled back in time, killed Hitler to try to stop the world wars from happening, but by doing that actually made World War II worse, because now instead of anyone opposing Stalin was more powerful, and because Stalin was more powerful, he almost wipes out all of Europe, and America has to come help and save Europe in Red Alert 1. And then that eventually, you know, it's time shenanigans. So it's like Germany's like always been America's ally in this timeline, which is just funny. It's like, yeah, we're best friends with America. We're best friends. It's funny. The story for these games are wild, but they're really good. Great Dong Doings $5 say Command and Conquer has taught me how World War III is going to happen. We're gonna time travel back in time to stop that, because Red Alert 3 is that. Red Alert 3 is the Soviets time travel back in time to kill Einstein so that the Allies never get nukes, and so that Soviets are stronger, in a stronger position. And so they kill Einstein, and by doing that, they fucking effectively make it so that somehow Japan becomes incredibly powerful, because the nuclear bomb didn't happen, so they couldn't drop it on Japan or something. It's just weird. It's so weird.
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, it was pretty crazy. Crazy stories. But yeah, the Command & Conquer franchise is excellent, Chatfish. And that's why it really deserves to be... Like, I would love to see a remaster for Red Alert 2. Red Alert 2 and Yuri's Revenge would be amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's see.
No,
Yeah.
I found the thing I wanted to show.
What did you find? Where?
So,
this,
like,
grab it.
this is the type of feeling I like in my games.
Oh god. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Turn up the audio bit. Pause the music.
This is the entirety of the feeling I live for in video games. Is this feeling?
God bless our troops. God bless America. And gentlemen, start your
The guy falls out of the plane.
This is the finding out solution to the fucking around moment.
It's really cool. Like it's like a badass like counterattack kind of scenario where it's like, okay, you've kicked us in, now it's our turn. It's the Pearl Harbor effect is what I call that. It's like, you want to play? Okay, we can play. Don't worry about it, Blake. We don't live off ad revenue. We live off donos. Ad revenue's only like $4. What are you gonna buy me? A McNugget, Chatfish? Yeah. 20-piece McNugget if we're lucky.
Then one day, like,
One day it'll be enough for a
dying of
20-piece
hunger.
McNugget and as a meal, large. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Now we're living the life.
Yeah, but no, the like the Admiral Hackett speech where they go in for the final fucking push or whatever.
Yep, and it's
Like,
just like
those
this big, like massive counterattack. Even if it doesn't
Yeah.
necessarily go very well for the counterattack, it's just the heroic charge kind of situation.
The righteous indignation.
It's like we may not win, but you're going to be weeping from this. Reminded the scene from the 18 movie. It's funny that you bring that up with that numb. We usually did a watch along of that where they're fucking in a tank falling from like this fucking plane.
Oh yeah, the 18
Shooting
yeah, that shit
drones.
was-
That scene was probably the best scene in the entire movie. One of them.
Which way to Berlin?
Oh well. What can you do, little chatfish? All right. So, with that more or less concluded, I think we've kind of touched up on the CnC subject rather well. It's actually coming along quite nicely, and honestly, I'm pretty looking. No, wrong button. I'm looking forward to the fact that I think that there's a remaster in the works.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to other games, we're going to be talking about games with a recovery, right? We've talked about EA having a potential recovery, and it's more like we're so sorry, but they're actually putting actions to, their words, more or less. And regardless of whether or not EA fucks up another game, what they did here was good. And there's really no way around that. So that's
Money.
always good. Oh, Jano
Money.
donates 25 Polish bucks and says, keep in mind, chat, we'll be taxing you 33% on every chicken nugget rounded up, of course. Yes. Fit Bucky's choice. Thank you for the generous donation.
No carp.
All right.
Oh no, it's begun.
You know what's funny? Like every time you go to eat a chicken nugget, you just feel a little flap on the back. It's like a little fin going like, and then you go like, okay. They take a little nibble on it. It's
Yeah, instead
Dying.
of just taking a third of the chicken nuggets, they take a third out of every chicken nugget.
Take a third. You just get like little nibbles left.
yeah.
Yeah.
How many licks does it take to get the center of a Tootsie Pop? It's that meme, and he just eats his fucking candy.
Yeah, but yes, chat. There is mouth rigging. Kibbs just doesn't shave very often, and then the tracking is terrible when you have a beard.
Yeah, I gotta do a full shave. I'll do that before next stream. It'll be improved there, Alex. I'll finally shave my beard. But beards are nice in the winter. But fortunately, it's actually not that
not
bad anymore.
winter.
It's only 24 degrees out, so it's actually warm out.
Kibbs, it's not winter anymore.
It isn't. It's spring.
Yeah.
Wait.
24
winter
degrees.
actually, guys?
Yeah, the snow's all melted here, and it's 24 degrees outside. Like,
Yeah.
so winter is
here's-
over for Minnesotans.
Over here, it's still summer for me.
I think there
You're
might
in the
still be
southern
people.
hemisphere.
You stupid! The planet is round, you mongo. You
It's not round. It's
mongo.
spherical.
It's spherical.
Anyway.
All right, so next up, we're talking about Company Heroes 3. This is a game from one of my favorite little blonde monkeys that lives in a mountain some far, far away. I gifted him a thing for this, actually, recently, so he's been happy in my DMs lately. But this particular thing is called Company of Heroes 3. Company Heroes 3 is a game that launched relatively badly under Sega's watch, basically stewardship as a publisher. Relic did not do a very good job with this game. It sucked. It was beyond bad. It wasn't beyond bad. It was just bad, is what I would say. It was rough. It was ugly. It was an ugly RTS. And it managed to turn itself around, so much so that it's actually mostly positive now and making a slight recovery. Though they did do an expansion with this Fire and Steel thing, which is like, oh, it's got new armies in it, like the King Tiger's in here, and there's other cool toys for the Americans to play with. But the issue when they do stuff like this is that it's going to segregate the players. Like if the haves and the have-nots, it's like that's not the way to do that. And I know they got to keep the team fed. Oh my god, $60 because they need to make money to keep Relic going.
They're into the second year of their fucking game cycle, so
Yes,
at least.
And Relic needs to keep the money flowing because they are now, look at that, they are the publisher. Sega, let them go, actually. Sega was so disappointed with the launch of Company Heroes 3, they basically let them go. But that is a good thing because it gave Relic freedom again. Relic has actually showed interest and briefly talked about this in some of their posts about talking about the Dawn of War they would like to make. Dawn of War is one of my favorite RTS of all time, and they talked about wanting to go back to the old roots of what made Dawn of War 1 good. And they are working on another game that's receiving some criticism right now, but again, they're working on a lot of games and projects because now they need to keep their team and studio fed. So everyone needs to be working now that they're fully indie.
I still remember when the airborne units
Oh
and
god.
the artillery were the go-to.
Oh god, terrible. Oh,
Mhm.
it just was not good. But the big thing is, I think maybe, just maybe, Relic might actually be able to turn this around. Because I looked at some of the gameplay footage of this, and I've actually re-downloaded it because I intend to play it again. I have 131 hours in this game. I'm curious to give them another chance to see if they've actually gotten their shit together with the 2.0 anniversary. I mean, weirder things have happened. One thing I forgot to put on this list, and I'll put it immediately after this, is, oh my god, we'll talk about it later. But yeah, so back to Company Heroes 3. It looks like it's making a recovery. This is good because Relic Entertainment, these are the guys that made Dawn of War. These guys that made Company Heroes. You know, it would really, really, really suck if Relic died because we'll never get games like that again if they did.
I just checked how many hours I have in Kingdom Come.
How many?
109.
Jesus fucking Christ.
EA gets forgiveness
You have more
when
than me.
Tiberian Sun gets the same remastered treatment as Conquer. And they remove the bad changes to Dead Space remake character face. Thank you for the donation, man. Dude.
Thank you for the donation. I think we need to have realistic expectations, Monkey. The realistic expectations of what's actually going to happen, right? The Dead Space remake is good. I don't think that's really up for debate or argument. It is just a good game. There are some creative decisions I disagree with, specifically making the actors' faces look like the actors. I think that was dumb. I don't really care for that. I know that games do that. I know why they do it. It's because it's easier for the fucking rigging. They save so much money on facial rigging when they do that, and that's why they do that. But I think that that's a waste of time. I kind of preferred the original faces of the other characters. Like, I did not like that Hammond got a different actor. The new actor is fine. He's actually really good at his role, but I missed the old Hammond from the original cut of Dead Space. I think that was actually the most controversial. Well, not controversial. That's my biggest opinion there. I think that the face changes to Nicole are weird because they modeled her after the girl and she looks old.
I think that.
But
yeah,
let's not be stupid about this, chat. Don't be stupid about this. Don't fight on a hill. Don't fight on. We need to choose our battles here, chat. Dead Space remake is good. Let's pick a better hill, like CnC 4. This is the hill we can fight on. This is a hill we can win on, and not only decisively so. Because
what if Kibbs? they redo Tiberium Sun and Red Alert 2. That gets enough to do Red Alert 3, and then they make a new game that branches away from Command and Conquer 4.
Yeah, I think they could do that. Honestly, they should just what I would be okay with is actually they could do this. Remake CnC, Tiberian Sun, and Red Alert 2, and their expansions. Do like what they did before. And then don't even need to remaster anything. Reboot it. Reboot the entire franchise. I'd be okay with that. Bring back Petroglyph. Get Lemon Sky Studios. Go get them. That's where the Westwood devs scattered to, and the people that basically learn from them.
The Four Winds.
Yeah, because they're all over the place. Get back both those companies with EA and work together to create a new CnC franchise together. Or yeah, not new, but like a new reboot of it. I think with Red Alert, what they should do is they should reboot Red Alert from the very beginning. They should reboot Tiberium Dawn from the very beginning. Because it's been so goddamn long, they might as well. Just continuing now would be building on weird foundations that are rocky.
It would it's kind of like they can do it, but they would basically not be getting.
It would be rocky because here's the thing, they have to choose where to continue the story from. Do you continue from Tiberium? Like for Tiberium, do you continue from Tiberium Sun? Do we continue from Tiberium Wars? Tiberium Wars did some things to the story that kind of left it kind of conclusive to like certain outcomes. So it's like it's very restrictive. That's what I mean. Like, if you're gonna do it, like, you might as well reboot it.
Mm-hmm.
No, I agree that they should reboot it. They can try to not reboot it, but like, the issue is that they wouldn't get new people. And 13, for fifth North Koreans. Might sound weird, but I want a remake of Warzone 2100 and a second game of it also.
Okay.
Thank you for
Well,
the
I've got
mention.
some good news for you if you're not familiar with this lore. But Warzone 2100 is actually freeware now. And there's an indie team, or not an indie team, but there's a little team that basically re-released it, and you can go and download it right now. It's on Steam. It's a slightly modified version of it, and it runs on modern OSs. So yeah, you can go play Warzone 2100 right now. It's actually pretty fun. It's one of the few RTSs where you can build your units, and that's always fun. Like, you customize what they have weapons-wise. But yeah, it's completely free. Go ahead and download it. I only have 0.7 hours in it because I played this game a lot on a thumb drive because I had it downloaded to the thumb drive, and I also played it on the PS1. I already know what I've already played, I think, enough of this because we used to play it in school all the time. We used to play this
Okay,
on thumb
so
drive stuff.
back to Company Heroes 3. What is it you're wanting from them?
So for Company Heroes 3, the big thing I think we want from Company Heroes is really for them to get their shit back together, make polished games with detail like they used to have, and not only just that, but Relic needs to polish up Company Heroes 3, finalize all the stuff, add probably one big expansion that expands the overall content so that it is in a good state to be left in, to be put to rest in terms of content making, and give us either another Company Heroes game or, better, give us a new Dawn of War title. Give us a Dawn of War reboot that we desperately need. Because Dawn of War 3 was cataclysmic. It killed the franchise in the same way that Tiberium Twilight killed Command & Conquer. They need to do what Command & Conquer and EA has done with this. They actually need to remaster Dawn of War 1 and all of its expansions, re-release that to raise money. It's an easy, relatively cost-effective measure. Then after doing that, take that money, don't remaster 2, skip 2, and make new Dawn of War again, but as like a rebooted franchise, and just call it Dawn of War. Because doing that will repair the reputation damage that Dawn of War is left in. It will get all the old guard back, and it will show that you're committed to the original Dawn of War design, and then reboot the franchise from Dawn of War 1, because Dawn of War 2, let's be honest, chat, Dawn of War 2 is fun, I like it, but it's the reason why Dawn of War 3 was made. It literally set up the failure, is the issue with Dawn of War 2. It introduced the idea of lanes, it introduced the idea of like being more like a MOBA, and while it was tactics and it was more polished, it was a bit more like Company Heroes, it paved the way for Dawn of War 3. We need to have them do another Dawn of War game with base building like the original formula. We cannot be fucking like ditching that. Every time these franchises do that, where they ditch the formula massively and they don't make it a spin-off, but they make it a sequel, like Tiberium Twilight 4 being 4. It's the continuation of the mainline game, yet it's drastically different from in a massive departure. It's actually worse than Dawn of War 3 in terms of what it did. Dawn of War 3 is not nearly as bad because it's relatively similar. But Dawn of War 3 is a drastic departure because it's more like a MOBA. It's a hybrid of 2 and 1, and it appeased nobody. They tried to play both fields because people were schismed by 2. Dawn of War 2 introduced a schism into the franchise. I blame Dawn of War 3 partly on Dawn of War 1 fans? No, Vulcan. Wrong.
Yeah, another
You're
don't know.
blaming the wrong people for that. Terratine does 50 Norwegian kroners and says, the Steam version is stolen by a guy who don't keep it updated. It should download it from site instead. Oh, that's interesting news. I didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
Steam should probably do something about that. Do you have a link? Send me a link to that, Terratine, and I'll update the description with the correct link on where to get Warzone 2100 from. That I was not privy to. I did not know that. I know that theft of like freeware projects on Steam is a problem, but the fact that that hasn't been dealt with yet is rather interesting. Somebody should probably contact the original creator and let him know, and then he should reach out to Steam. Not should reach out to Steam, but then he should put up his own up there after having the other one removed, so that the correct one is there.
That's actually even like dangerous because you don't know what the freeware thief is put.
Well, if it violates certain Steam like things, it will be taken down. Like, for example, if you upload malware onto Steam, Steam will usually just fucking never let you publish it. Period.
Mm-hmm.
Like even if you give them the $100 monies, because they actually review and check your game to make sure it's not filled with any fucking Trojans or shit. No, Vulcan, you're wrong. Dawn of War 2 is not the best. Now go into the trash bin where you belong with your trash opinions. She's like, I'm kidding. You're allowed to be wrong. Now, integrate the Ultimate Apocalypse into the remake for Returning to 1. Don't integrate anything. Don't mod stuff. Okay, listen, chat. We've seen how that works. Asper Entertainment tried to use with the modders, by the way, and to Asper's credit, they specifically reached out to the modder and they worked together to try to put the cut content for Knights of the Old Republic 2 in the remaster version or the re-release, but that was a disaster because again, when you're dealing with such old code, you need the source code, and if you don't have that, then you don't have the blueprint of doing anything.
They know about it, but since they don't own the game, nothing gets done. Thank you for the donation, Turned. Ah, that's bad.
Well, what they should do is they should probably contact the actual IP holders in that case. Who owns the IP for Warzone 2100? Somebody probably owns it. And if nobody owns it and it's up for sale, because Interplay was selling their IPs still to this day, I think they finally sold them all. I talked to the actual Interplay guy, and granted we teased him, but I've spoken to him before about like things in terms of like, because they just run a Facebook page for the remaining IPs and they just sell them to whatever company wants to buy them for a set price, but they only want to sell them in bulk.
Midnight Ninja's first dono gives.
Mm-hmm.
Midnight Ninja first dono, and you donate $5. Say, I would love to see EA go through
and remake.
Oh, could you not do that? Well, I'm reading that.
You were not.
Shut up. Go through and remake all their oldies and but goodies. Populous was a major part of my childhood. I'm interested in what I missed. Well, the re-release, I believe, runs out of the box. I mean, I tested it, ran for me. Are you talking about Populous the beginnings or Populous 1 and 2? Because they're kind of a bit different mechanically. Now, the big problem with that is Populous is a bit of a different case, Midnight Ninja. Unlike Westwood and EA and Command & Conquer, while it is under EA's umbrella, it's by Bullfrog. And Bullfrog, as far as I know, did not stay as intact as a lot of the Command & Conquer devs did. A lot of the Command & Conquer devs stayed pretty active. Bullfrog, one of their people, Peter Molyneux, went on to go make Lionhead Studios, and we all know how that went, right? And then Bullfrog got shuttered later. Bullfrog, for those who don't know, are the guys that made Magic Carpet, Dungeon Keeper, Populous. They're well-renowned strategy games. Anno 1800 is now 90% off.
Mm-hmm.
Any DLC are worth picking up for it? Yes, almost all of it. If you want to get Anno 1800, chat, you want to get it all. Trust me. Or well, you don't need the cosmetic stuff, but like any of the expansion add like city building shit you want. Terratine donates 15 Norwegian kroners and says, "What I liked about Warzone 2100 was that you actually kept the units between missions, so if you kept them alive, they became a lot better." Yes, that was after unit veterancy became a mechanic in real-time strategy games. Now, chat, we're getting into game theory because you're autistic, and I love you, but we need to beat you to death with love and compassion.
You're all artists.
Take champion, so retarded. So, come arounds and comebacks. We now need to move on to another one that Bucky actually triggered my autism on. So, this is why it's important, and when we talk about come-arounds and returns to greatness, that we look at every game and we give it a second chance, right? I know many of you just saw this as I switched here, and you're floating up belly up dead, but I'm going to shake you back to life, okay? Because Warcraft 3 Reforged 2.0, for all what it did, is actually surprisingly in an actual decent state. Now, is there criticism that can be levied at this game still? Definitely. There are certain things that they definitely need to be restored, and I do agree with. But it is a step in the right direction, and a step in the right direction for a genre that I cherish, that is basically, quintessentially, barely alive. It is still alive. It just doesn't get a lot of good games or high-quality games anymore. It's important. Because we are now on the back pedal, Chatfish. RTS people, we're kind of like, we're no longer the big dogs. As the gaming market expanded, we became a minority. So whenever we get a W, you got to take your W. And you got to take it with your, like everything else. So
You're not funny.
What?
back in the day, making RTS was very pricey because you had to have good
Well, they still are.
a good PC. No. You understand what I'm saying in 1 second. You had to have a good PC and this and that to run it. Today, like a lot of PCs are
So Bino,
they are extra powerful.
I have to explain something. So developer systems and computers are usually, for every company, always going to be more advanced because they need to handle more advanced workloads.
Mhm.
This is,
No,
goes
but
for
what
game,
I'm
yes, but this also goes for game dev kits for even consoles as well.
but what I was going to mean, and they cite that, and then they do games like the movie games, right? That they have to mocap like several people and do this and that, and this ends up being way more expensive than just making a normal RTS. Because no, you need to make the movie game because the movie game is cheaper in the future.
That's not
Like
entirely the
is
issue.
this.
There's a lot more. There's a lot more that's going on there than just that because most RTSs don't even have mocapping. It's only like
That's why they don't. Yeah, like, that's what they said.
you know. The only good thing that happened to RTSs in the last 10 years is Age of Empires 4. Not necessarily. There's actually a lot that actually happened that was good. A lot of re-releases. If you're talking about like new games, yeah, you're kind of right in that regard. The Age of Empires definitive stuff is probably the best thing to ever happen to Age of Empires. Microsoft has done a fantastic job of not only resurrecting Age of Empires, but actually making it surpass StarCraft massively. It's now the premier RTS on the market for multiplayer experiences. Age of Empires 4, Age of Empires 3 is not doing as well, but it's doing well. Age of Empires 2 Definitive, probably the king still. Funny. Ancient dinosaur game, still king. still gets a lot of expansions and new content. But yeah, so when it comes to that, there's other things too. Like we've gotten Warno. Warno's all right. Like there's been some good RTSs here and there, but yeah, in terms of blockbuster things like Red Alert or Warcraft 3 or those Company Heroes things or Dawn of War, we have not gotten anything like that, anything at all. But one quick note: the Blizzard, despite their many failures as a company and things I disagree with, the Warcraft 3 Reforged 2.0 update was really good. It actually made the game surprisingly fun and actually good now to play. The remaster for Warcraft 2 is cute. The remaster for Warcraft 1 actually makes Warcraft 1 playable. So I got to play that for the first time forever in terms of not being insufferable to play. God, the original version is just rancid. But yeah, it's these are good things. But it's also to gauge interest in the genre, right? So if people don't buy these things, if people don't show interest in them, if people just walk past these things when they happen, the AAAs are going to look at this, and the AAs and even the indies are going to look at this, and they're going to judge you because you're being judged on how you react. Now, shut up. Does it mean that you need to buy these things? No. Does that mean you need to like bend over backwards for a mid-tier product? Fuck no. But does that mean whether you should be vocal or not is more important? Being vocal, like, I like that, and saying that in a public space has far more impact than just walking by it. Walking by it has impact in the way of you basically are consigning that thing to death. Because silence is death in the games industry, and it always has been. Like I said again, the only reason we got Dead Space 2 was because people were vocal. That game, and we know that because that leaked, they only got greenlit because people were vocal, because there was no intention to make a second game. They were actually quite upset with how in their eyes the first one performed. Vocality is important. That's not debatable. That's not a discussion. That's a fact, and that's a statement. Now, next game. Hello Games. Now, Chatfish, you might not remember Hello Games, but some of you might. This is a massive debacle for a game that was called No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky launched, and if anyone remembers the hype around it and its release, it's one of the most legendary disasters in gaming history. However, despite the fact that it is one of the most legendary gaming disasters in gaming history, it's also one of the greatest examples of a recovery, regardless of your opinions on the game itself. I myself still think it's kind of a mid-tier game, but that doesn't matter, right? because the game managed to A, not be abandoned by Hello Games, and to their credit, I appreciate that, the fact that they didn't abandon a product, right? Not only did they not abandon it, but they also kept making content for it, patches.
For free.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, granted, they should have done that to begin with, but yeah.
And
The
they
fact
have-
that they
they-
did it is commendable because in an industry that is heavily to like $70 games, and not only $70 games, but $120 to get your season pass for the first season pass, another $30 for the next season pass next year. Like, fuck me, dude. Like, that's insane. To their credit, while the game I think is mid, they didn't give up on it. And that alone is commendable.
The
We get-
mindset is what I want.
Yeah. Don't give
Mhm.
up. That's what we talked about with Warcraft 3
And-
Reforged. That's what we talked about with Company Heroes and even Command & Conquer. Don't give up on a game. Don't abandon it outright. If they're going to cook, if the developers show signs that they're willing to communicate, they're willing to work, even though they're being criticized, work with them. At least hear them out. You don't have to agree with them. You don't have to buy their game. I'm not saying you need to bend over backwards. I'm just saying to listen. All you have to do is just listen for just a half second. And if you can do that just alone, then the games industry will actually get better. You will get better games by doing this. If we all start to do this and we all push each other to do this, not as just a community, but as just a greater concept as a whole, and you push your friends to do this and they push their friends to do this, what will happen is games will get better. People need to work. People need to work harder. People need to not give up. Games shouldn't just die and be abandoned.
Yeah, it should be like Star Citizen and milk people for eternity.
I don't know about that. See, this is the horseshoe theory. This is, yes. There's an extenuant of going too far, right? That would be a great example of that. Star Citizen is going too far with that concept. At the same time, you have to ask yourself, well, if they know what they're getting into and they're not being manipulated, sure, right? Project Zomboid is a bit more honest, unlike Star Citizen in that regard, because Project Zomboid is, listen, it's going to be a while. We're going to take years to make this game, but we're making an autistic zombie simulated game where you can start in a zombie apocalypse and literally rebuild society in that zombie apocalypse, whether you're a carpenter, whether, like, it's a sim. And so they've done a fantastic job, and it's taken them many years. But you know what? They haven't given up. Victoria 2 happened because of 3 fans. Yes, I heard about that too. Victoria 2 only exists because Victoria 1, I think, was kind of like an obscure thing. Nobody really cared. And the reason why they made Victoria, despite all odds, was specifically because fans wouldn't shut the fuck up about it. And so the developers were like, fine, we'll make another game. Victoria 2 is still considered to this day to be one of the best geopolitical simulator games Paradox has ever made. And none of their games have ever come close to it. And the reason why that is because it's one of the few geopolitical sims that actually feels like your people are living and doing things on their own, and that you aren't in total control of everything. Like they will do their own things. They will push back against what you're trying to do sometimes. And so you sometimes have to wrestle your own country. And that feels really cool. Because you got to wrestle your autistic little populations into being compliant with what you want them to do.
Tarantino donates 50 North Koreans. There is someone that's remaking Warcraft 1 and 2 and Warcraft 3 in Warcraft 3 Reforged. See, thank you for the donation.
And TFA on Twitter or Twitch gifted a couple bits and says, karaoke? No. You seem busy? Guess not. Yeah. No, I'm not doing karaoke. What the fuck? What the fuck? What kind of question is that? Just
You're a VTuber, kids. You're supposed to do karaoke.
I'm not a VTuber. I may have a model, but that's because of chat, not because of me.
Okay,
So you're a VTuber.
How much was the donation? Karaoke guy.
2 cents.
Do not add that.
2 cents?
Yeah, you don't add Twitch ones.
All right.
Twitch one, they
I
don't
do
pay. They pay only when we reach a certain amount of monetary threshold. So we cannot rely on that. They might pay next month. They might pay in 2 months. They might pay in 3 months. It depends on how many people give me their primes. That really dictates it. And that varies massively based on whether chat remembers or not. Whether chat...
I don't have Amazon Prime anymore. I used to give you my Prime.
I give myself my own prime.
That's cringe.
It's like a discount on my Amazon Prime membership. It's like a discount. That's how I view
I'm
it.
gaming the system.
You can do that. It's really easy.
I'll destroy you, Blake. Why are you doing a Zatsudon stream? What is a Zatsudon stream? What are you talking about, you filthy Blake? You
No, he's
little
saying,
weeb.
you know what game I'm going to play?
What game?
Are we gonna ban you?
Yeah,
You're gonna add more context or what?
we're going to play Halo 3.
Shut the fuck up,
Okay.
Bino. Don't talk to me.
Blake.
We're done with you. Trash bin. Trash bin Bino. Now,
Trash Panda.
Trash Panda Bino. Goddamn. So here we have another game, or not another game. This is just No Man's Sky. Here's an example of the turnaround, right? You can see that overall, out of 261,000 of you, 250,000 people,
Go grab the graph, Kibbs.
it's 81%. Oh my god, I don't even know
Go
where
look at the
that
graph.
is.
When you just
Oh.
click on the mostly positive button and then there it is. Look at that.
That's the history, isn't it?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep, launched in 2016. Holy shit, that's pretty bad. And the negatives were way out of the positives. But gradually, over time, you can see these little positive dashes. They just eventually erode away at the negative. Over time. Because they didn't give up on it. And because they didn't
Correct.
give up on it, they were able to repair their reputation. That's why I think Company Heroes can turn itself around. Hell, Blizzard Activision turned itself around with at least the RTSs by fixing up these ones. Like, even companies you would not think, EA, right? Electronic Arts. It's a name you say and you're just like, And like,
It's
I
pure
have,
taste.
yeah, but like this, like when you look at what they did and you see what they, not only do you read what they say they're going to do and what they've done, but then you look at how they have actually done and implemented those things and you're like, wow, that's actually good. Like, you did good. You did a good thing here. But it's important to note that it's not Activision Blizzard that did that. It was an individual. It wasn't, EA that did this. It was Luke who played a pivotal role in that. If it wasn't for Luke's contributions and his pushing internally, we probably never would have had this.
Whenever
Again,
you say Luke,
yes, but again, it's down to individuals with will pushing for things to happen, working towards a goal.
whenever you say Luke, my mind outcompletes Skywalker.
Oh, maybe he is.
I can't do it. Can't do it.
Another game that we're going to look at is Monster Hunter Wilds. Monster Hunter Wilds, you're going to see this happen here. And I'm going to tell you why you're going to see this happen here, because it's pretty easy to predict this, by the way. This game is a great game. This game has a troubled launch. But the developers are going to continue to work on this game, and that will get over the troubled launch. There's already, I think, over 1 million people playing this goddamn game right now. It's one of the most successful games. And that has a role to do with it, but they can turn around the negative PR into positive PR, just like they did with Monster Hunter World, I think. And so this is a game, if you want to see what I'm talking about, that's going to have that exact example. Check back on this in a couple months' time. It'll be positive. Let us look at another game very similar to Monster Hunter Wilds recently that launched, that also had a relatively bad development history. Here we're going to look at Helldivers 2. Helldivers 2, horrible mixed launch, followed by really bad design choices and patches, and then criticism, massive criticism. You were vocal, you were loud, you were obnoxious. You got what you wanted, and you got what you deserved for working towards it, chat. You got a better game. Because why? Because you worked towards getting a better game. You were loud. You participated in streams that talked about the content. You helped boost them so that they could be found. You left comments. You left reviews on their game. And all that feedback, all that noise, whether you watched a person stream it, whether you watched a video edited but for a review about it or talking about it, complaining about it, whatever you did, however small it was, accounted for one little push. And every single one of you adds up. And as that builds up, it becomes a tremendous weight when they look at it. So that feedback, you guys managed to actually fix Helldivers 2. It was so loud, so vocal, that we got the game we deserved. We got a better game from it. It's why it's incredibly important to be loud. It's incredibly important to be vocal. But don't shut down the conversation. Don't say, it's EA, I don't want to talk about it. Well, guess what? It is EA. We got to talk about it. They are bastards because sometimes they do fuck up our games. And they have done that many times. And they will do it again. But the difference is whether or not we can get something out of them, right? We're not going to get a good RTS game. Sitting and boycotting isn't going to get us anything. It hasn't. Has Command & Conquer gotten better? No. Has Have we gotten a new RTS in the last decade of this? No. What have we gotten? Nothing. We've gotten fucking nothing.
Age of Mythology remaster.
We got that because Microsoft was looking at the fact that they weren't doing anything. Was like, hey, you want something? And like, we're so starved. We'll take anything.
It reminds me of the Hulk meme where he hands him a taco.
Oh my god.
I was like, here you go.
Here you go. Yeah, pretty much. This is Microsoft handing people Age of Empires mythology. Pretty much, yes. Like, that is essentially what happened. Be vocal. The reason why you need to care is because if people are pushed out of spaces to talk, you get what happens, like what happened with Battletech. Battletech, they pushed people out that cared about the franchise, and because they did that, they canceled a writer who mattered in the franchise. And because people kept shutting everyone up and telling people, oh, I don't care, I'm not going to talk about it anymore, because people got quiet about it, now look at it. It's dead and it's shit. Like, Battletech is garbage now. It's trash. And there's nothing nice to say about it. Mech Warrior, ass. It's ass. Chat, it's garbage. It's irredeemable trash. Like, it's terrible. I don't want to touch it. I don't want to look at it. I don't want to be anywhere near this. This can go to hell. Like, that's where that is, right? When it comes to this, I want to be here. I want to be in Helldivers 2. I want to play Helldivers 2. I want to play, fucking Monster Hunter.
But
these games are good. And the reason why is because you got to stay active. You got to stay vocal. You got to be loud. Warhammer, Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, whatever you like, Marvel, Disney, all that shit, my opinion as I've worked on things has changed. Originally, it was different, and I realized I was wrong. We need to be loud, we need to be vocal, and we need to care, and we need to be participating in every conversation. Because when we participate in the conversation, we have a voice. And when we have a voice, we matter. We're an annoying eyesore. Not only are we an annoying eyesore, but we can also make other people sway them to our side. When we sway more voices to our side, their voices get quieter, we get louder. And eventually, they're going to answer us. Oh, wait, hold on. I got to turn on the music.
But where is the cut out then? Like, where do you go? Like, okay, this is Mech Warrior tire. I give up on it, and this is like, I don't know.
The issue with Mech Warrior and BattleTech is that they've already shunted all the people out. Like, they're gone. Like, the people that cared are shunted out. They've left. They didn't leave. They got fired. The reason why GW isn't is because it's still a battleground. Internally, they're still fighting. We know that. Because these places we can win. Not only can we win, but we are winning. That's the difference. Battletech is a lost cause for now, and only for now, Bino, until there's a change in leadership. Once that happens, then we get stuck in, and then we start grinding. But let's pick and choose the battlegrounds we fight on and make sure the battlegrounds we're fighting on are winnable. So we keep having more and more victories. If we choose to slog it out in a pitched battle that's just gonna grind us down, we're wasting our effort and time. Let's keep making wins and keep growing our voice, so that way when we make that pitched battle choice, we can really win it.
All right, I just want to know what your...
You gotta remember, the thing we're doing is we're fighting a war here, unironically. We need to choose where we fight and how we fight, because if you fight and you get obscure, like, how do I put this? If we choose to pick a battle and fight on a certain hill that isn't worth fighting on, like, let's talk about Dead Space Remake. There are things that are bad in Dead Space Remake, but the game is good. And so if we were to double down on the bad things that the game did do, so much so that we're like, you can't buy this game, you can't enjoy it because it's got one thing that's cringe in it. Well, now we've alienated so many people.
No, Gibbs, why don't you go ahead and just pull up Indiana Jones?
Oh yeah, Indiana Jones: The Great Circle is a great example of this.
Should be the very quick addendum. It's very cringe when people go like, you shouldn't do this because like this is woke or this is like. I think this should be through the individual.
You should be vocal, right?
Actually, I think it should be like each individual like has to choose, because if I don't want to buy it because I don't, for example, I don't like this, so like if it has a little bit of woke stuff, I won't buy it. But like I shouldn't be just like pestering other people to do the same thing, because then you get like people like that on Twitter. That's basically like the whole like annoying part of stuff like that.
We want us some Verduns, Frederick says. Yes. So here's a great example. Indiana Jones, The Great Circle, right? This illustrates our point exactly. People were like, "It's woke. We need to attack this game," but it's actually not that woke. Not is it not that woke? There is a couple things in it. Yes. Should we be silent about those things? No, because if we're silent about them, it's going to happen again and get worse, right? Here's the new strategy, the new doctrine. We fight when it's appropriate to fight and when it makes sense. So that way, we always have a reasonable, logical standpoint to fight from. If we fight everywhere all the time for no reason, we're going to alienate everyone and we're just going to look like morons. I've seen these people and I've talked to these people and they are morons. I don't want to be a moron. The big thing is, Indiana Jones: The Great Circle is a great game, and you should definitely consider checking this game out. It's better than the new Indiana Jones content, movie-wise, but it's oh my god, it's 20% off. Okay, that's actually, it's in a price range right now for the basic version. That's actually what it should be, $55. That's not bad.
Isn't this game on Game Pass? Like, I don't like Game Pass, by the way. Before anyone.
Yes, but let's not worry about Game Pass right now. Okay, so the big thing is that when it comes to this game, it's very good for what it does. It's a good Indiana Jones game, and as it turned out, it's a good game. There's no point to double down on attacking things that are good, because you just look like a moron when you do that. If a game is good, it's good. A game must succeed first at one thing, right? Being a good game. Next thing it needs to succeed at being is good at what it's about. What is this game about? It's about Indiana Jones adventure. When we played this game, didn't it feel like we were actually in an Indiana Jones movie?
It did feel.
It succeeded at being a good
movie. The voice
movie
acting
game.
was really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was really good. It feels like an Indiana Jones movie game, like a good movie game.
I think this game like has a strength that many people are not talking about out there. It's like they can keep adding stuff to it, because there's no reason to just have this game and not do anything else. You could have like an expansion that's like another adventure and so on. Kind of like how the Monkey Skull second movie had nothing to do with the first movie and so on. You get what I mean?
Mm-hmm. It can be episodic, yeah.
Yeah, episodic. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean the big thing is if it's good, I honestly don't care that much. Like as long as the game is good, and whatever that you're doing and you're making it good and it's turning out good, that's all that matters. I just don't want bad games anymore. It's just...
So here's the issue, right? This team, instead of doing Indiana Jones, I want them to do a Mummy movie.
Oh my god, that'd be amazing.
With Brandon Fraser as the voice actor.
That would be really epic. They could actually pull it off because they got the hand-to-hand combat really good. The only thing that I know why they didn't focus on guns too much, but I hope they do in the future. Because like the guns, you shoot someone in the head.
The one-shotting. Infinite gun glitch.
Oh my god. That's special. But yeah, when it comes to this game and Machine Games, they did a great job here. They actually recovered. Machine Games, by the way, real quickly, these are the guys responsible for, god damn it, it showed me Bethesda's catalog. I know what they're responsible for. They're responsible for the Wolfenstein games, okay? And some of the people in this game, by the way, that worked on Indiana Jones are actually developers from an older game called Riddick. The Riddick games that were worked on with Vin Diesel. Those are interesting games. The reason why the melee combat is so good in this game, by the way, melee, the punching, is because it's actually based on the Riddick Chronicles games foundationally. It's melee combat. And basically refines it.
You know what's funny about the Riddick Chronicles? That was my first time ever hearing or seeing a Muslim in any piece of media. So I had no fucking idea what the hell they were talking about.
Same.
They did
when I was a kid, I didn't know. It was like magic. Like, oh, is that space religion? Space religion.
I thought it was a made up space religion like for a few years until I was like, oh, they're Muslim.
So at least you know the Earth exists.
Yeah. Damn. Being sad.
Damn.
Yeah. Yes, Frederick. Verdun was the longest battle in World War One. Yes, we know.
Goddamn Frederick. How does that make you feel, Freddy? He's like, well, Freddy's mad because he's autistic. But yeah, so when it comes to picking and choosing your battles, this is a great case of picking and choosing, right? This game isn't a game that should be gone after. This game didn't do that well, sadly, but I think that's entirely down to this price point. That $70 price tag is shafting this game so hard here. It's a really good game. You should consider checking this game out, but you should wait for a sale. 20% is a good sale, but like because it's only
Gibbs, look down.
55. What?
Look at the third thing you could buy.
Digital premium upgrade.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like what? How much is the total for that? Oh, it's because I already own the game. Yeah. I had to buy one of the editions of this because of it being expensive.
Sure. So if you just scroll up, right, it's asking you to buy the fucking. So if you buy the normal one, it's $55. Then you get paid to upgrade it, but for $29.74.
Which puts it massively over, yeah.
The middle one, which is what it's supposed to be. If you add the upgrade.
Yeah, that's retarded. I think they're banking on somebody being brain dead to click on that. Brain dead to click. You lose out on a lot of monies if you do that. Like, if you're going to buy it, you buy this one. It's still, that's ridiculous. I am eager to see what the expansion is. Because
Also
there is a
because
story
Indiana
expansion
Jones-
coming.
Indiana Jones hasn't got a good movie since Ford got old potato.
Pretty much. Any $70 game that includes a premium edition is a hard pass for me. Remember, that's more than fair, Red Axe. Here's what I would do. Slap this game on your wish list, give it time, let it cook, right? In terms of like patches and stuff, and then you'll get it at a fraction of the cost when you want it, when you see it on sale for like $30 or $40 or whatever. Because these things in a few years will go down in price and you will get your money's worth. Not only will you get a fully patched thing, but there'll also be mods for it. So if you want to tweak anything, there'll be mods because they'll be made by that point. It'll have all its expansions. It'll be the complete edition, whatever. And so it'll have all the patches. You won't deal with any bugs. Like, you're just going to get a better product. There's no shame nor harm in waiting for a game. It just means wishlist it. And the reason why you should wishlist it, by the way, you know why? Because the developers, if I remember right in the back end, can see how many people wishlisted your game. Not only can you see how many people wishlisted your game, but then they can start to determine when to put the game on sale. If you want to get games and encourage games to get on sale more, wishlist them. The reason why you should wishlist them is because on the back end, they can see how many people wishlist a game. And tell all your friends, if they like something, wishlist it too. Because if we all do this collectively as a community, as a gaming community, I guess, what's going to happen is sales are going to be more frequent and more games are not only going to go on sale more often, but they're also going to start lowering the price of things because people are only going to buy them when they're on sale. I'm just saying, chat bros. We get what we deserve, and when we don't work towards a better industry, we don't get nothing. Just like, whoa, nothing for Chatfish. Yep, nothing for you. Nothing but garbage. But yes. So now that we've talked about that, I think we've thoroughly nailed that nail into that little wooden board.
Mm-hmm.
The next thing we've talked about is a gaming controversy. Just like, no. And this one's funny. Hearts of Iron 4, made by Paradox, is currently getting bombarded, review-wise. However, in this particular case, I don't think the developers deserve this, because this isn't the thing to bombard them over. It should really be over their DLC pricing and stuff like that. No, instead, it's over a specific piece of DLC. It's Graveyard of Empires. Now, obviously, you're probably asking yourself right now, who did they offend? Well, they offended the Chinese. And I know you're asking yourself right now, Kib, I thought China banned this game. Yes, you're right. This game is banned in China. However, despite that, Chinese people still buy these games anyways because guess what? Making your game so it's okay by the CCP government really doesn't affect things because guess what? There's loopholes. Not only that, but I have a friend, I'm not going to say any more information on that is a member of like the CCP government or has a friend who knows somebody that, and when your friend in your friend or when your family connected to the CCP government, you can get whatever you want. You don't have to play by the same rules as everyone else. It's only the regular common Joe that play by those rules. It's modern nobility is basically what it is.
Just communism.
And so yeah, gives this Chinese agent from a hero prick. He's like, oh my god,
Phrase Ching.
Bino up by 500 points. Bino,
Yeah. Yeah. And
but
then
yeah.
I mentioned Taiwan being so country. Then like, now on the death. Oh no.
But yeah, so the reason why this is in this way is because in this DLC, India gets a focus tree in which they beat the shit out of China. And because it's a thing basically, and because of territorial disputes with China and India, this DLC adds stuff for the British Raj, and the Raj can actually either restore, their like sort of old monarchy system, or they can even become like a, what's the word? Like they can restore the East Indies Trading Company and make that a thing again. And because they can do those things, they can beat the crap out of China. So they're mad because there's a DLC that is specifically about another country being able to do bad things to China. God fucking forbid your nation can be annexed in a video game about being annexed. It's just the dumbest shit ever. And so, yeah. Just can't. I have to mention it because some of you I know are interested in this game and you'll be probably wondering why there's so many negative reviews. And it's really quickly when you just, what is it? Edit preferences, languages, all languages. And we just click on today, right? And you're just going to notice that. Oh, God. How do I need to switch filters so you can see what I'm talking about, chat bros. Review type negative only. All right. You're just noticing. Do you notice a certain thing here? I wish you an early dissolution. Like Chinese. Like, look at this. Do you see this? Bino, do you see this?
Ah, okay. Sorry, I was looking at something on the chat. I was like, "Why? I see the chat."
Look at
Yeah, I see like
all these.
it's-
Or wait, no, sorry, not that one. But yeah, like
if
all those
you-
reviews when we turned off those filters, they were like
Yeah.
almost entirely in Chinese.
in Chinese.
And they're upset
you know,
because the game lets you like be
Beat
India
China.
and beat China.
Yeah. To be honest, I would be upset if India was beating my country as well.
I'm pretty sure they can.
I'm pretty sure they can. Actually, a lot of people can. Brazil can only fight for 5 minutes on the front line. That's all the ammo you have.
Good old Chinese review bombers. The whole reason review bombing does not work. Yes. Chinese review bomb. I already own this DLC because I got the season pass. I have 1,439 hours, so I got my money's worth out of this fucking game. And I'm going to be playing Graveyard Empires. And as you can imagine, chat, I put together a special little Chatfish thumbnail that illustrates this. Oh god, Palu, did you not post it? You little mongoloid. He didn't, did he? He sent it to me in DMs. He does that. Oh no, he's doing, oh my god. He posted in Chamber Secrets. What are you laughing about?
You just automatically accuse him of doing the wrong thing without looking.
Yeah, I did. I thought he did. Okay. He was tired, so it made sense to accuse him. But yeah, so he whipped this thumbnail up as a quick thumbnail. We didn't have any slots for it. This wasn't going to get a thumbnail, but because this was so funny about the Chinese review bomber, I had him whip together a thumbnail. And apparently we didn't send him a lot of references because the Indians have RPGs and the other guys have all modern weapons. But yeah, it's India versus China. So that's going to be the theme for March 4th. We'll be streaming that on its launch.
That's like a hybrid between an M16 and a fucking
I'm not
FAL.
sure what Palo drew there.
It could be a lot worse. You could have the Chinese like wrestling wuxia novice.
I like that. I like the tumble bullet rifle they have. Hold on.
Chap is like, India.
Yeah, the QBZ 191.
Let's see. You posting it in chat?
Yeah, I'll post it here. So they debuted this as the brand new weapon of the future, and then you watch the them shooting the targets in the background, and you see oblong shaped fucking bullet holes in the targets.
What? Why?
Because the fucking rifles, the bullets are tumbling.
Oh my god! It's just. Oh my god! Chinese cannot make weapons. Oh my god! Help me. I'm looking for where it says stamped on each part, made in China. Fuck.
You know what's the worst part?
Yeah, I found it.
When you
Hold
realize
on.
that, like,
Yeah, I'll post it here. So this was the target they were shooting at.
Oh my god, yeah, the bullets are tumbling.
oh my fucking god!
Their bullets can't even fly straight.
You know what's the worst part? There was a Chinese official one time arguing with me. It's like, but China created gunpowder. China is superior because of that. Yeah, but what? You created it, and then America.
And you did
surpassed
nothing
you
with it for
in
hundreds of years.
Yeah,
Hundreds
like
of years.
America surpassed you. Europe even surpassed. Like,
So because of this, because of that, people started making jokes at their expense. So they're posting, "Look at my my target practice."
That's
with the new
fake, right?
Chinese rifle. Yeah, it's fake.
Okay.
It's somebody replicating it with a shitty rifle.
Oh my god, the bullets are actually tumbling. Like, what the fuck? That's just tragic.
So yeah, they're just making fun of it. It's really funny.
I just imagine a slow-mo modern Battlefield, game, right? And then you press slow-mo mode and like you just see the bullets spinning.
So the quote on that caption was, "When you finish zeroing your new Chinese rifle."
Oh my god, that's terrible. Oh my fucking
you know what I kind of wanted to see? I wanted to see the side comparison of like you shooting a very cheap kind of like bulletproof vest with a good American weapon, and then this Chinese rifle.
Yeah. But yeah, this weapon was notorious because everyone was laughing and the Chinese couldn't understand it. And then they made up some fucking thing like, "Oh no, the bullet tumbles on purpose." to increase stopping power or some dumb shit.
Increase stopping power so it just bounces off body armor and doesn't penetrate any armor or penetration value. Like, because it's tumbling, that's increasing. Okay, chat. So you know the basics of physics, right? Like, so the reason why bullets are shaped the way they are is just small points, so they press pressure and they go through things, right? There's no point in tumbling a bullet. That's just also, because it's spinning in the air, that means that when it's moving through the air, it's flopping all over the place.
You know what this is? Okay, I know this is some fucking Chinese played Borderlands and saw the wonky guns. It was like, wait, we can do this,
So the US 5.56 for M16 is actually designed to tumble after ricocheting. That way you can travel perpendicular to a surface and hopefully hitting somebody.
Yep, but after ricocheting, it doesn't.
After ricocheting,
it doesn't tumble while in flight to target.
No.
Can you send me this link? I need to send this to my dad. He's a gun nut, so he's going to have a blast.
Yeah, let me go find where like they actually covered it.
Thank you. Like, holy shit. Oh my god. Even the fucking Brazilian. Have you guys ever seen, chat, the Brazilian made guns that the cartel uses sometimes? Where like they grab like a pistol and they want to make it look cool, and then they make the pistol like they add homemade parts and shit like that, and becomes some fucking war gun from Warhammer 40k or something. That's not only worse in every way, but also probably dangerous to the user. Like, that's what I imagine the Chinese are doing. Just like in Sniper Elite.
Just like in Sniper Elite. You little fucking nerd. You little Chatfish. Red X. It says they are using 90% more of the bullet's surface area. You Western brainless don't understand basic physics. We are taking advantage of the rest of the bullet. Oh my god, that's probably their propaganda too, because they're so uneducated. They'll be like, yes, unlike our Western adversary who use only 5% of bullet surface, we use all 90% bullet surface.
Oh my god.
Making 90% of our bullets more valuable. It's like, that means our bullets are 85% have greater surface value than the inferior Westerns with their 5%. 85% more, Bino. Bigger number.
You can probably bet that they use some Chinese martial art excuse for the bullet touching your body more, doing more damage. Like, yeah, because just like in traditional Chinese martial arts, if you do this, it does more damage. Why couldn't you just shoot the guy normally. Kill that guy.
Kung Fu boot.
Kung Fu boot.
It's like nunchuck flying through air.
You know what's worse? Wouldn't this bullet be extremely dangerous at ricocheting of stuff?
Also, Bino, quickly explain to me why your profile picture is you in a fucking stockade.
Because it's he goes swing.
He
go pillory, Bino.
I like it
If I
because
say-
it's great.
If I say bad thing, I go swing.
Okay, because I'm looking at your profile picture, I'm like, is that Bino's like little paws sticking through a fucking pillory? Like,
Yeah, he did that.
that's amazing. All right, Bino, we need to update your art with that.
There you go.
Oh my god, I'm just my eyes are watering up.
Get daily.
Yeah.
We're a gun channel now, chat. Like, what the fuck?
Does that mean we can start asking you ammunition type questions?
Oh god, no. I'm not very well educated on munitions and bullets for
You
modern
can't be
weaponry.
a gun channel if you can't name obscure weapon cartridges.
The fucking Hungarian assault rifle. That's heavy. I was like, wow, Kib, that's so indescript. That's great. I know lots of trivia about it for some reason, because I was on a binge about Hungarian weapon design for some reason. Because they were goofy. She's like, yes, gun channel. Oh god, we're up to the gunnery bunch. I want to be educated. It'll be me asking questions, chat. Be like, what is modern assault rifle for United States Army? M16, right? And chat's like, no. And I'm like, fuck. Because it isn't. The M16 isn't used by the US Army.
M2 Browning, a gun, a long gone era, or the future of space warfare.
Oh my
Space
god.
warfare. I want like 20,000 years in the future. Like we are fighting against an alien species. The guy just picks up a 1911.
He knows about the killer. Listen, chat, we can do gun casts if Chatfish fund them. I promise you. I'll even research this shit.
I have the only thing I know about guns.
Don't
that,
worry.
like,
I'll make sure you know
good-
all you want to know about the gun because I'll be researching the shit out of
buy
it.
a gun. I
I'll
want
be
to buy a gun.
researching the shit out of it, chat. And I'll make Bino research it too. I'll make Bino-
I need to study. I need to reread the terrestrial war stuff.
Hashtag
like,
Guncast stream fund. When, chat? When are we funding this?
Because
we're gonna have to
people
we're gonna have to research the guns in advance, so no talking about guns we don't know about. That's
Well, I guess you won't be talking very often.
Wow. Let's start with the earliest type of firearms, and then we'll go from like that to modern. Okay, there.
Okay.
It's
Go
easier
ahead.
to start from the beginning. So the pistole cannon is a single shot weapon. It's a stick with a little barrel at the end.
Sorry, a muzzle loader is what you're saying.
Yeah. Very primitive, very inaccurate, not very deadly, more loud than anything else.
Uh-huh.
Just okay, that helps. Because rifling wasn't a thing yet. Rifling of barrels is incredibly important, chat. That's why
Green
most
Branch,
little
thank you for the
balls
donation.
fling out in random directions.
Green Branch donates, gives one membership. and hits
Arquebus says Stone Age. Handgun owners mentioned. Yeah, pretty much.
So, Kibbs, you know, if the Chinese made a circular ball ammunition, it wouldn't tumble.
What would it do?
It would just fly at the target.
It would just fly at the target. What?
Because it can't tumble.
Oh, because they can't do it. Oh my god. They're
Because it's a
technology-
round. It's round, kids. It can't tumble.
They're inverse. The Chinese are weird. Their muskets
You're
are
an
just...
idiot.
Don't be
You're an
mad.
idiot, kid.
No, don't be... No, no.
You don't get the joke.
No, I'm making my own joke out of it. No. Clayton will be punished for this. He's like, what the fuck? SF Guncast, shower. Well, Green Branch started the donation for the Guncast.
For the
I'll
Guncast.
have to determine how much that is when we figure that out. We figure that. He's gonna need art assets. Either way,
Well,
what? Good.
well, cannons and bombards count as early guns.
They are technically barrels. This is true.
They're technically guns, yes.
Yeah, they do the same functions mechanically. They're just bigger.
What's the difference between a cannon and a gun, Gibbs?
One's bigger, one's smaller.
Can you legally own a cannon?
Yes.
Yeah.
Nice. That's why like America is still the best country in the world.
Because like Bino
Yeah.
wants a cannon, so Bino can blow up his neighbor's house. Bino can blow-
In Minecraft, maybe.
My
To
God.
defend my.
All right. Well, I think we've moved through most subjects today. Today was going to be a shorter cast, mostly due to the fact that we didn't have a whole lot of gaming news today. But also,
I have.
what is it? What is it, Bino?
I found a game to play with.
Bino, are you gonna?
Anyway.
Yeah. So is this is in
Yeah.
any way? Yeah.
Yeah, so Gibbs, scroll up. So the reason why
Aw.
there's a new golden age coming on the fucking chat
Huh?
channel, Gibbs.
Oh, the chat
The
channel.
the stream room. So the 2 pieces of equipment that just got announced. Go up. The fucking AMD shit, you retard. Those
Oh,
things.
yeah, that's right. You want to talk about that? Well, let's just open it. Just open- There we go. Now, Chatfish,
you
why?
start-
What, Bucky? Why are AMDs gonna be the golden age of gaming? You tell me.
Because AMD, after watching Nvidia come out with some ridiculous pricing and their, hardware melting people's PCs, oh, it's copyrighted. Oh no, it's
What
gone,
is-
Gibbs.
What's copyrighted?
The image, I can't see anything now.
Oh, what? Why is this copyrighted? Oh, it's because of the stupid ads. So, like, sometimes ads on channels will actually trigger my capture card to do. You know what's funny, right? We watch.
Scroll, just zoom in on.
Whenever I
the
watch
fucking-
movies with my fucking computer, it never does that. But when I fucking go to websites, it does that. Fucking get the what?
So AMD has slashed its prices, some in half, because they see an opportunity to come in back into the market at very reasonable prices. Because if you go to the next tab, it's extremely affordable. They're talking like $600 for like high end
Jesus.
GPUs that are phenomenal.
$600 for
to-
something like the 4090 capabilities?
Yes.
That's actually really good because 4090 is like $1,000. They shaved off $400 off that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, that's going to make AMD very competitive.
And the best thing about it is there's no AI frames.
That's amazing. Oh my God. So
It says native Gibbs. Native frame rate.
native frame rate, which means no AI frames because AI frames are terrible. Yes. Oh my God. I hope to God, chat, we need to collectively kill the AI frame trend now. The AI frame shit makes your game laggier, unstable, look like ass. It's just not good. I don't know who thought that was a good idea. AI frames to make it look like it runs faster. Fuck off. No, it doesn't.
You know what's the issue? It's a trend, and because it's a trend, it brings investment.
Well, the thing is, here, how do you kill a trend?
Well, you let it fail most of the time. They smart companies, they let other people fail.
Why did
And
Windows?
that's-
Let me help you. Windows Vista, right? Windows Vista, when it came out, had a lot of launch problems. But why did Microsoft fix those launch problems? Because people were so goddamn loud. It was like a cacophony of fucking screeching. I remember that. Like, nobody liked Vista. Everybody hated it. Everybody ragged on it every 5 seconds. And because it was a cacophony, because the vocality was so loud, they fucking undid it as quickly as possible. Just like when they did the Windows 8 with the touch screen based interface, that cacophony of screeching made them undo all of that.
The thing is the problem are the consumers, because I don't know why in the past few years there has been a trend with like a lot of consumer base. They're like, no, we shouldn't complain. We should just consume. And it's like, I don't understand that. I really don't understand why they do that. Because like there's for each like person complaining, there's one or two persons people that are like, you're just a whiner or like you're just whining about.
Here's the reason why
like,
complaining matters,
abuse.
Bino. So it doesn't really matter. Like that's a pointless counter argument. I don't even know what you're trying to do. Like it's like because people will say that
not
it's not
counter-arguing.
okay, then don't
I'm
complain
saying
at
that
all.
I'm disliking.
Yeah, well, people are gonna do that anyways, right? So here, let me explain to you about humans, right? If I tell you, Bino, you're not allowed to fucking have cookies anymore, are you gonna listen to me?
That's a better analogy.
No, it's not, because I'm telling you what to do, right? And it's all about when you complain about something like, oh my god, Bino, like what's something you really like, Bino? Name a game. What's your favorite game? What's your favorite game?
My
Come on.
favorite game is probably Neo 2, but I still know the game is not.
Neo
very
2
good.
sucks, Bino.
No, I can see why you. The thing is, I can see why people would say that. So I
Yeah,
don't
but
really
your
care,
game
like-
sucks. You shouldn't play that anymore.
Well, then I was.
Yeah, well, you're not gonna listen to me, are you? See what I mean? When you tell people not to do something, like, oh my god,
I was not doing
this sucks. Like Windows Vista, like some people will troll because guess what? Some people will lie because humans lie. I know it's weird. We find it funny.
I would never do that.
We're funny little guys. You know they're gonna lie. That's okay. Ignore them. All right. Trolls are trolls. They're just fucking salt farming. Let them do what they do. Okay. Let them salt farm in peace. Like they're just gonna do that. And there are people who are control freaks. Now, usually the control freaks I'm more concerned with are Puritans, but control freaks or that type of person is going to be like, Bino, I don't like fucking this thing, and if you like it, I'm going to complain at you. And then they'll constantly whine and whinge at you be playing something that you like, but they don't, right? Like, it'd be like me raging at you for Neo 2 for hours and hours and hours on end.
Yeah. Also, people troll. That's how Morbin time happened.
Yep. Literally the power of vocality. It's so important, yet it's so often overlooked. Like, Dead Space 2 exists because people were positive about the game. The fucking Morbin time thing only happened because of trolling. It's not positivity, but again, the power of vocality still changes everything. Because guess what? Large corporations do listen. Whether they're multi-billion-dollar companies or not, you still have just as much influence as you did before. If people were more vocal, if people were more vocal about Microsoft's like things about their new Microsoft like 11 or whatever, and Windows 11, yes, they would change it. But the issue is they're kind of whiny and begrudging. You can't quench, but that's it. They don't do anything more. If they go back to how they reacted with Windows 8 or Vista, you bet your goddamn ass they're going to change it.
I can agree with most things, but Microsoft licensing stuff like that, because most of the shit comes from the government contracts. I don't know about that.
Now the government,
But I
on the
agree
other
with-
hand, will just ignore the individual at all costs.
Yeah.
If it's a government influence thing, yeah, no. But the people have far more power than they realize.
Yeah.
Because guess what? We live in a free market. And in the free market, you being a loud little shit stain is going to annoy people. And the more annoying you are, well, in a way that convinces others to be annoying with you, the better. Because you want to not annoy your friends and your family and your people that surround you. You want to convince them to join you in being annoying.
Yeah. Just like how everybody banded together to raise GameStop stock.
Oh my god, yes.
Yeah.
GameStop stock
lost
actually
money.
resurrected because of that.
I lost the opportunity to gain so much money because early in that, a guy I knew, some guy I knew was like, "Hey, buy GameStop." Stop. It's like, what? That's going to go up. It's like, okay. And then I didn't look into it, and then like, it went up like to $400, and then the next, it's like, okay, I lost money.
No, you didn't lose money because technically you weren't going to
You
do
lost
it.
opportunity.
You lost an opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah. There is a difference between that two. Because technically, opportunity-wise, we all had massive opportunities to make shit tons of money. But 99.9% of us won't actually be there for every opportunity to make lots of shit tons of money.
Yep.
Bucky's like, I'm at 0.1%. Waddles around.
I mean, I have a 401k, so I don't really need it.
Wow.
No, yeah, like when I said, when I mentioned it earlier, kids, the part that I get annoyed is, for example, I give the example of God of War. I really like the God of War franchise, and then they changed it completely. The formula,
Yep.
the style,
They
everything.
did what they
And
did to Command and Conquer to what they did to Dawn of War. They changed the formula of the game so much that it lost what it was. Assassin's Creed, the same thing. Assassin's Creed, I
Mhm.
really like the formula of it, and then they turn it into like this RPG thing, and it just doesn't feel the same. And no matter how many cope videos come out about it being like Origins wasn't that bad or Valhalla's not that bad, like the reality is they're not that good either.
You know
Like,
what, Kibbs? I have good news for you.
what's that?
Assassin's Creed Shadows. There's a setting in the game now that you can turn on automatic assassinations, like an instant assassination.
You can
what do
actually
you mean?
play like it was in the old games. You don't have to bonk them for 30 years and be an assassin. Oh my god. Too bad it's in that game.
No,
It's in that game.
It's
Like,
not. It's not the setting they state is not what the developers intend, but you can turn it on.
that's fair. I mean, the reason why they're being so open with everything is because they're fucking on fire right now.
Yeah, I know.
Like
Speak
I
for yourself.
if we were to look at Assassin's Creed Shadows and everything the developers are doing without context to the drama shit, I would actually be like, wow, that's very responsive. That's actually what I want to see a AAA developer do. There should be more developers like you. However, with context, there's a specific reason why they are doing that. It's like Star Wars Outlaws. Star Wars Outlaws received several patches, which I looked up recently, and that are adding a lot of things and features that people really want. Like you can now reload fucking rifles and stuff. You can now, there's the stealth mechanics are getting better and stuff like that. And it's like, yeah, Star Wars Outlaws is improving, but you know why it is? It's because Shadows is tanking. It's because Outlaws didn't do very well. It's because people are critical
Monolith
of
is
it.
gone.
Monolith is gone. Oh my god. Wait, Monolith was under Warner Brother Games, right?
Yeah, pretty sure.
That's one of the biggest competitors. They should be fucking like happy because now the sandbox game market, they're gonna have more monopoly on.
I love reading chat. Speak for yourself. I'm from Europe. What are you talking about? What do you mean? I don't know. I just wanted to complain. Yeah, I love chat.
No, Yuri. It's my job to play bad games. Chatfish have made this a thing. We are gonna play Ask Creed Shadows for one stream, and then we're gonna see how bad it is, and we're gonna talk about it, and then we're gonna address all the bad things about it, and if there are any good things, we will mention it. Though I sincerely doubt there will be. I mean, the only thing I can think of right off the top of my head that I can say positively about Shadows right now is they were responsive, but the thing is, it's muddied, right? They added a lot of quality of life and player control options to custom and tailor the player experience. However, the reason why they did that was because of all the criticism they were receiving. So it's like, it's kind of like you did a good, but you did it because you did a bad. So it kind of undoes itself.
Also, I watched a friend play Valhalla, and like that one was funny because like he wasn't paying attention. He was just skipping all the dialogues, pressing A on the button, right? And then he got raped. He got raped because basically like there's one character that he talked to, and want me to fuck you? He's like, yeah, and then he's gay. You're gay now. I remember that one. He's like, fuck him. He got very mad at the game.
Speaking of which, so what's the off chance that Nexus will ban any mods that try to change Yasuke from black to like an Asian man?
Instantly, absolutely instantly.
100%.
I bet they have. I bet this will be the fastest banning they've ever done because they're gonna be like hawk-eyed, you know, like they're just like waiting there and like ban, and then anyone that liked it, ban, 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 ban.
I wouldn't be surprised if they would have like, okay, there needs to be at least one mod at all times checking every mod that this game has. Because another mod they are probably going to be very mad at is that there will be mods making the female character not to look like a warm person. And they also don't like them.
They banned the Unmusa mod in KCD2 so instant. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, why would I want to unmusa Musa? I want to kill him.
I want to kill. Can we kill him?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you did find a way? Nice.
People say you can.
Yeah, people say you can, but people say you can't. So I'm so mixed on it. I want to put a crossbow right smack between his eyeballs. But right smack between his eyes.
Didn't you get to Musa yet?
No, I'm like, oh fuck, how far am I in the game? Bucky's further than me, but granted, Bucky's been grinding farther. Bucky's been doing. I think you've been doing completionist, haven't you?
Well, sort of.
Sorta. So he is
know-
further behind than me because he's doing more. He's 107 hours in. I'm 87.9 hours in.
Goddamn.
It's a long
You know-
game. It's a good, solid RPG, I say.
You know what we need in Assassin's Creed? A mod that turns all enemies guys.
I think Bino should be banned from breathing. Just like, yeah, we
What?
agree. He's like, Bino dead. ModDB will also do it if journalists ask them to do it. Yeah, because ModDB is worried about basically their PR stuff. ModDB usually will just leave their stuff up and are usually pretty good with that stuff, but they don't actively seem to seek or purify. But if pressured, ModDB does cave. That's true. Because
that's the issue though with them is because of that they can't take on Nexus as a competitor, because like a lot of people will look at that and be like, why would I go to another website if they are just going to?
Well, here's why. Okay, so
and stuff
ModDB doesn't need to worry about that, Bino, because ModDB does one thing better than Nexus. Number one, it's mostly mods for old games, but number two, ModDB has been successfully organizing large mod teams for a very long time. So when you go to ModDB, you're looking for overhaul mods. Basically, this is something you install that that turns your Red Alert 2 into Mental Omega, that turns your Tiberian Sun into Twisted Insurrection. These are completely different games with their own music, their own factions, their own missions, their own multiplayer. Like, it's a brand new game made in the engine of that game. ModDB is overhauls, and that's what I like ModDB, because overhaul isn't download 30 different individual mods. It's press one button, download one massive fucking mod that changes your... Like, ModDB turns Medieval 2 into Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones, Warcraft, Dragon Age, Elder Scrolls, Zelda. It turns it into fucking different eras. It turns it into fucking Pike and Shot, turns it into fucking Three Kingdoms, turns it into Antiquity Rome. With a press of a button and a download of one file, or like several files in a folder, a zip folder, you effectively changed your game massively. So yeah, that's why I like ModDB. Nexus is like, you download 2 little mods. But I do want like an uncensored. I would like if I had my way, Nexus or ModDB would like be one thing, and they would just have categories like, okay, this is NSFW content for people that like Lovers Lab shit, because I know they're their own thing too. And then here is the regular content. Here's like individual mods that are add-on mods that can be piled together, and like stuff like that. But we don't really have that. I mean, I'm glad we have what we have. Okay, I just wish it was centralized, though. That's for that's for usability. The issue is if it was centralized and it was under the control of somebody that was censorious, then we're all fucked.
Yeah, I was about to say like that's the one issue of centralization.
Centralization is good for usability and it's good for like just accessibility, finding things. But it's good that GOG and Steam exist. It's good that GOG, Steam, and EA's actually managed to get their shit together and get their store functioning. Because more competition, and Epic, even though I hate Epic because of its tactics, are anti-consumer and anti-developer, Epic existing is good on the market. It's good because it checks Steam, it checks GOG. It makes sure that they will not step out of line. We need a bad guy for there to be good guys.
My brother, he started playing computer before me, right? He told me that Steam sales weren't that good before like they started to have competition with like, I think it was Origin.
Yep.
It was when like Steam
Origin
started, like,
was the best thing to happen to Steam, yes. Origin may have been a shit show, but Origin existing forced them to modernize, forced them to get their shit together because there was a threat. All it took would have taken to make Origin more of a threat is if EA was competent. But EA was incredibly incompetent with it. It was also at the point in which EA was floundering and ruining everything. They were killing Dead Space, they were killing Command & Conquer, they killed Medal of Honor recently. Like, EA was the titan, they were the king of everything. And then they were watching as their entire kingdom burned. EA still has a powerhouse today, but they're nothing what they were comparatively to 2010 in that bracket. They were like Titanic in terms of their power back then.
I remember they were very strong, like They were also the target of most YouTube complaint videos. I remember that.
Well, yeah, it's easy pickings, right? Because if a big corporation fucks up, you just make fun of big corporations, easy win. But at the same time, usually it was justified. Usually. Because there was a lot of things EA did that was kind of sketchy, even in the 2010s, 8 and 9s. Because while they did do a lot of good for games and made a lot of good games and stuff, they also did a lot of sketchy shit too. So, like, never forget, the games industry is nothing new. Like, you want to go back in time? Let's wind back the clock a little bit. Who was the big bad before EA? Interplay. But many of you are probably like, what? No, Interplay made a lot of the great games. Yeah, you're right. They did. They had a golden age too, and then they had a dark age, and then
True.
all the stuff came out.
They had a golden age too.
Silence, Beano. You little rat. Killed Medal of Honor recently? Didn't it happen like a decade ago? I know, it's a decade ago. I'm saying recently when we were talking about that period, Patet now. You little
Because he's old. He's old, Chad.
No, because I was talking about 2010s, and recently, at that point, they had recently killed Medal of Honor.
Gibbs needs to still play Rising Sun.
We do. It's on the playlist, isn't it? Yeah. Wasn't it the GameCube version you wanted, not the PC?
Yep.
That's a very
Correct.
specific version.
I have a GameCube. Pretty good. With
Oh, look, Gibbs, you can play it, you know.
GameCube has no network functionality, and even if it did.
I only have 3 or 4 games. I don't even know if my GameCube works anymore. I haven't played it in a long time. I had like Smash Bros, Mario Sunshine, and Zelda Twilight Princess. Yeah, not me.
Bino, what?
Not many games.
Not mini game. Me Bino. Oh my god, this game is terrible. Lost Records, Bloom and Rage. God damn.
Oh yeah, chat. We Kids played this game. It was just as bad as.
Sorry,
the
I just had
former.
PTSD because I saw it. All right, so I'm like, oh my god, so bad. I hate it.
Could be worse.
All right, chat bros. I think it's time for us to get ready to raid into the next stream. Because I think we've concluded all our subjects. I have something funny to share about this game. What are you talking about, Blake? All right, spit it out, Blake. GameCube did have networking. You could play Phantasy Star Online. What? Kill Petitnam. He's
Apparently, there's a quest where you can accuse Musa of being a traitor, and he will get the rope or the axe. But you can't kill him personally.
Okay, I mean, that works for me too. Rope or axe is fucking hilarious.
Rope.
You want him to dangle a little. Because the axe is a bit too quick, isn't it?
I want to Musa go swing.
I wanted to go swing. Oh my god, the Musa Go Swing Fund. Yes, we can start that. We'll even get an art piece.
Hold
for it.
on, hold on. I need to actually confirm what they
Yeah, we
said
do
is
need to
true.
confirm it. You can make him go swing? Smiles, Dura. Nice. Chat, we're gonna call it the Go Swing stream. Oh my fucking god. No, Potato Nam, you belong to me. He's like, what? I'm a potato. What? Looks kind of like a potato. With a little Mario hat.
Yeah, apparently there's a lot of people saying you can let Musa take the fall.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I heard about it also. That people.
Okay, well there we go. So I'm going to look into this.
I kind of want to see the stats of how many. Imagine they have the stats of how many people. How many people
my god.
like, let him swing? Yeah.
So
And,
like this reminds
there's
me of a funny story because Witcher 3, you could get the Red Baron to kill himself if you fuck up something, and if he hangs himself, if you jump into his dead body, he will. The physics are broke, so he'll swing super far, and it's really funny, and it ruins a sad moment. I made
Was it
several
sad?
people mad at me because I ruined. Yeah, because they were sad about it. Because Tad were like, you ruined what was supposed to be said, and I'm just laughing as the Red Baron's like swinging around the tree by his neck. It's just funny, okay? GameCube had some games that you could play online. Those were the exception. Most GameCube games were only for offline play. Only, yeah, pretty much. The 6th generation consoles were very early. I think the biggest 2 consoles to adopt the online play thing was PlayStation, but it was very much eclipsed by Xbox. Xbox was leaning heavily into adult and online play, like adult games, online play. That's what made it such a sexy console. It was like, wow, you can play with other people with this console. Like, that's so sexy.
You know, the one thing I remember about the original Xbox is how many people they bought the jailbroken one for the pirate games over here, and then like they were like, oh, but I want to play online, and then they would connect online and lose their game because the Microsoft would be like, wait a second, you're trying to play Halo online with a jailbroken Xbox, my dude. And there were a lot of people that did that.
I've seen footage of Outbreak. I've always wanted to try Outbreak, but yeah, I've heard about that placa. All right, Chatfish, it's time for us to raid into the next stream. I'm gonna grab myself a pizza. And we're gonna play Halo 3 community event. So if you want to join the Halo 3 community event, hop in the kib-sized bucket, and you will be picked up and dragged in the correct room. And thank you again, chat, for hanging out with us. Remember, if you like the stream, to drop a like to help us out, support the Kib. If not, don't, then Kib will die and disappear, and you'll not have to worry about me no more. Oh, sad. But yeah, chat.
You go swing.
I'll go swing.
I'll go swing.
If you don't like the stream, I go swing. But either way, chat, we'll see you in the Halo stream in about an hour's time from now. So take care, behave, and have a good week, chat. See you later, chat fishies.
Goodbye. Thank you.